What episode is this? 34.
34.
Oh, we know what number. Who that?
Shaquille O'Neal.
You went there first?
I went Shaq too.
I'm about to go Shaq. Elijah Wan.
Oh, snap. What?
I definitely thought Shaq first.
Shaq.
Over Walter Payton.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sweetness. Chicago.
Shame on
finest.
me.
Shame on you.
Shame
I
on
can
me.
hear the sellout chants right now in Chicago. We always hated his dad. He convicted my brother.
Shaq is more current.
True. Oh, yeah. True. To me, Shaq's the best basketball player I ever saw. Like, there was a moment where I was like, they need to get off the court or put one of the Lakers on the other team to help defend us.
He's the most dominant player I ever saw.
I know.
I wouldn't say he's the best because there's a lot of things in basketball he wasn't good at.
Free throws and
Dribbling.
Jump shots.
Shooting.
dog. He could bring it. He brought it 94 a few times. You remember those plays? But it was random.
Looked like a baby giraffe, too.
That wasn't no baby.
Better than that.
He wasn't true. He wouldn't trust that all game.
No.
That's
But
in
I'll trust
moments.
that post play
Dog.
because he put ball in bucket.
Ball in. He
Where's the flags? Where are the flags?
Oh yeah, where the flag? Can you get the flags, Triple OG?
need no
He,
flags.
ball and bucket. He put backboard.
in buckets.
He put backboard on ground. Dog.
Right.
Remember that shit?
Right.
Like
A few
dog.
He
times.
did that. Yeah, I was gonna
They
say multiple
changed the
times
way
he
they
did
made
that.
rims and backboards.
Yes, he changed the dynamics, the technology of the sport. Yeah. Oh, look at
there
that.
it goes.
Somebody must have said something.
Terry, get one.
But be real.
Literally breakaway rims are because of Shaq.
But be real. No. Y'all we gotta agree on one topic, one time, all of us.
Okay.
Shaquille O'Neal, when he was playing his best basketball, I don't know if it was the leaner version or just a little more weight on him, but he was just gigantic. Dog, no one could do more in basketball than that dude. Like, who? What player?
Jordan
What
could
more?
do more than him in basketball?
Yeah.
He was just more dominant at basketball.
Shaq had the big joker. This is what I'm saying. There was a time Shaq had the big joker. There was a time Jordan didn't have the big joker because he always had Pippen that did some of the responsibilities.
Shaq had Kobe.
Kobe wasn't doing what Shaq was doing. He was just
Yeah,
scoring.
look at them stats.
You better look at them stats. Who was the Finals MVP every time?
I mean, Shaq. But he had a guy who was putting up 30 a game right
Yeah.
next to him.
Yeah.
Jordan was the MVP every time. If we're gonna use that argument.
Yeah. And who did he defend?
But you
who did he
but you
defend?
using Scotty.
Who did he
you
defend?
said you took Scotty there.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
what? He had Scotty.
That wasn't to eliminate
Shaq had
you.
Kobe.
Well, hold on, Justin.
Hold on, Scotty
Kobe
was
had
better than
30.
Kobe when Shaq had him. Shaq had a worse
You said
teammate.
Scotty was better than
Scotty
Kobe?
was better for Jordan than Kobe was for Shaq. Come on,
I don't know if I agree with that.
Do you know or not?
No, because I think Kobe and Shaq was the perfect 1-2. You had the big and you had the guard. Jordan and Pippen were kind of right there in the same
What?
position.
What?
They
Point
did a
forward.
lot of the same things.
What?
Pippen
They
was
did.
a much better
No. They
defender.
both brought
just
up
like
the ball.
Shaq
They were
was
both-
a much better
they-
defender.
Come on, Terry. You already know, and Kobe, your guy.
They both played
But
the-
Pippen with Jordan was better than Kobe was with Shaq.
No,
Come
I think Shaq and Kobe's better because you have somebody who dominates on the inside and you have somebody
No,
dominates
I'm
on the
talking about
outside.
team concept. I'm talking about if I'm Shaq, I had less to work with Kobe because he was young. If I'm Jordan, I had Pippen.
So are you saying that Pippen's better than Kobe?
No, I'm
at
saying
that-
Pippen because Kobe got better after Shaq left.
Yeah, but he still was
No,
putting up
Kobe
27,
was
29,
Kobe
30
was
points.
Kobe when Shaq was there.
Yes, and guess what? Pippen was Pippen when Jordan was there. And y'all, you know what? Y'all know why he likes Pippen. Pippen is KD.
No, I love Pippen.
No, Pippen is KD. I forgot.
No, I love KD.
I've never heard anybody not like Scottie Pippen.
Okay, so why y'all not giving him his credit?
No, we just not giving him the credit you giving him.
What credit? I'm
We giving
giving-
him credit. He was a great player. We just not putting him above.
If their careers ended right, Jordan and Pippen, that 8-year stretch, 2 years break, and then you say Kobe when Shaq left, who was better? Wasn't Pippen better than Kobe by that time?
Well, that's not a fair assessment.
No. That's the assessment I'm making. I'm saying as teammates. I'm not saying as career. I'm not saying overall.
They
And
played together longer than Shaq and Kobe did. So that's what I'm saying. That's not a fair assessment. If you're talking about Jordan and Pippen
Can you
together
make the assessment
versus Kobe and
unfairly?
Shaq together,
can you make an unfair assessment ever? Nothing is identical. So
Kobe
we
and
can.
Shaq was beyond dominant.
So that means I'm right. Thank you.
I
That's
don't
all I'm
know.
asking.
I don't recall
Nobody
Kobe.
agree.
I don't recall Kobe walking off the court when he get a play call for him in the playoffs.
Oh, well, now we're going into we don't like you, Aaron Rodgers. I don't want to
I'm just
hear
saying,
that.
That's a professional goalpost mover. Right
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
You gotta
yeah,
watch
yeah,
this
yeah,
guy.
all
You gotta
day.
watch
Y'all
this
are
guy.
lying.
If you
No,
give him a
actually,
good
y'all making a
argument,
point.
he changes.
How
it.
did I move it?
He get his shot out.
You moved it. They weren't together as long. Who cares?
No, I responded to what you said because when I gave you facts about Kobe and Shaq, you said, "Oh well, let's minimize it. Let's just talk about
No.
these years that Jordan. I mean,
Let me
Jordan and
state
Pippen
my
played
premise
together.
again. Shaq had a worse teammate in Kobe than Jordan had in Pippen. That's all I'm saying. Yes or no? And
don't agree
I'm
with
saying
that.
as a teammate, and that meant the years they played together. Who was a better teammate for the other? It was
Kobe.
Pippen. What? No.
I think Kobe.
I mean, listen,
No.
there was
'cause
like
you giving Kobe credit after Shaq left.
there was like two.
Kobe gave him credit
I
after
was
he
a
left.
Kobe fan before Shaq, like way before
We
Shaq
were too.
left.
Everybody.
Yeah.
There was like 2 years in that span where we played the Spurs, and Kobe was the leading scorer during those series, and he got us past the Spurs. So I don't remember Pippen being the leading scorer in any
No,
series.
Mike wasn't letting that happen. No.
Right.
And
Kobe
by
carried
position,
Shaq a lot.
by position, it wasn't because Shaq couldn't have done it too. Shaq can't bring the ball up and give himself the ball.
But that was my original argument. When you said you felt that Pippen was a better teammate for Jordan than Kobe was for Shaq, I said no, because they were better because they dominated on both sides, with Shaq inside, Kobe on the outside. Jordan and Pippen playing together, I feel like they did a lot of the same
that's better-
things.
yeah, that's better double scoop ice cream. Yes, better double scoop ice cream. I'm taking scoop by scoop. Who was the best of Jordan or Shaq? Jordan, right? Most people would say, even though I think Shaq was the best. Now, Kobe before Shaq.
Nobody's ever said Scottie was better than Kobe.
No, we ain't got to say that. But we can say he was better to what they were than what Kobe was as a
I
contributor.
don't agree. You remember when Kobe was going through the trial and he was flying back and dropping 40?
Wasn't
and
that
50 in the
after?
books?
That was Shaq last year.
Yeah.
That was when
That was Shaq last year, right?
Like 04.
04.
03 or 04.
They lost to the Pistons.
They did.
Right. But that's 1 year.
Did you
Before,
look at his stats before that? The years before that too?
yeah, they were building.
I'll help you out.
He's going crazy.
We've seen a number of big and little combos that have won championships throughout the year. We very seldom see two wing players be the dominant players and a team wins. So I'll help you out with that.
Yeah.
Throw him
Yeah.
some bait.
Yeah, I thought
Y'all know damn well that Scottie Pippen was out there bucketing
Oh, for sure.
he was fire.
and defending
Scotty's an
and doing
all-time
everything
great.
that
Best
Huh?
defender I've ever seen.
Yeah, I think Scotty's the greatest defender, period.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. I just remember Kobe blossomed, and y'all can say he was already there, but I don't think nobody's saying that.
So did Scotty.
No.
Scotty came in a little rough around the edges. too.
No. Listen, when they departed, when Jordan was gone from Scotty, he didn't blossom,
that
right?
was it.
That was it. But when Kobe left Shaq, or Shaq left Kobe, he blossomed. Correct?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
But Kobe's trajectory was
and-
always going like this. Even while Shaq was there, every year Kobe was going like this.
Yeah, but right here is not Pippen. Right here, it's not
Pippen-
Pippen was heaven.
here the whole time while with Jordan, and then
Thank you for making my point. Finally, it took
I
you
know.
this long to understand what
Well,
I
no,
said.
you're-
I said that,
That wasn't-
Pippen was higher, and then Kobe just kept doing this and when Shaq left, he kept going.
your point was Pippen was better for Jordan
Yeah.
than Kobe was for Shaq.
Yeah.
I still don't agree with that.
Yeah, I know.
Just you should have stopped there. The
I know,
original topic was, can we
Argument.
all agree on one
I
topic?
said agree on one topic.
But that ain't the topic to pick.
ain't the one.
That
I was like, oh, we finally did it.
Like,
So the answer is no.
So the answer is
the ceiling is white. We can all agree on that.
No, I don't know about
When it comes
that.
to Jordan,
What
and-
shade of white?
yeah, for real.
I think we can all agree that Gene is the nicest one out of us.
No, I don't know.
Terry can't agree
I
with
was
that.
watching.
I'm married to a Canadian.
I was watching.
They fake nice.
I was watching yesterday's,
Yeah.
and I was like, Gene is the nicest motherfucker on the planet.
Don't believe that
Good
shit.
guy.
Nicer than me.
No.
Yeah, way nicer than you.
nice
Nigga,
guy.
you from Queens.
No.
I got to be from Southside.
All right, let's go. Let's do a yearbook. He's not the nicest. I'm gonna tell you why, because this is what I told my wife when I met her. She's Canadian and all that. Oh my God, we're the nicest. Everybody's like, oh my God, be nice to her, Marcel. I was like, they're not nice. I know they're not. I knew it, and I didn't even know, but like 8 Canadians. I was like, they're not nice. What they are is polite. So there's a big difference. And then I told her, you're not even nice. I'm kind. That means you can't get to me to make me mad at you. I might fuck you up, but then guess what? I'm still happy. Like, Those people, they play it off in public. Oh, boy. You know how many Canadians I know now? Because that's family. Boy, they get to the crib, they drop that damn veil, and it's rap. They mean as hell. I'm like, why you snapping on little man? But then everywhere they go, hi.
I agree with you on that. Right
Yes,
there.
see? So watch Gene.
Oh, he's seen it on the field.
See, Gene is polite. Okay. I don't know. Most polite. All right. Most argumentative. All right.
No, that's you. He loves putting that. He loves passing that title to me, but it's definitely him.
Most contentious politically.
It ain't gotta be politics.
Yeah, you just like, because this is when you know he may go, wait a minute, no, hold up. And I'm like, damn, dog. He's like, what you say? No, we're not doing that. I'm like, no.
I don't know about that.
You get a shake of that head.
You start shaking that head. What is Terry?
I'm just chill.
Most aloof?
I'm chill.
Nah, you
a
ain't.
good one.
He's not aloof.
That's true.
Terry
He not
is
aloof.
sneaky.
Sneaky.
Oh.
You gotta watch
Ooh.
those.
Listen.
There's a lot more going on. He's like a duck. Like under the water. There's a lot going on, but on top he's just chilling.
You know the old saying, still waters run deep.
Yes.
And that's why I'm a
Still
writer.
waters right there.
That's why I write.
That's a good one.
What's new? Nothing's new. Nothing happened. Oh, went to sports rehab with the little man a little earlier than I wanted to in life. Like he's 9. I'm like, damn, you already got an injury like that? But I got my first injury at 9. I remember my sprained knee and then my hamstring. So he goes in there and get all that little, he feel like a little pro, getting all that stuff. They got some machine where they spin these marbles and it like cools your ankle and massages it at the same time. I was like, you're doing too much. I was like, boy, if you don't dominate these kids when you play, you go to sports rehab.
I
and
used to
shit.
like going there just for the fun of it because
You
they
like
got
it?
so much stuff. Like you can get all different types of treatment, even if
Yeah.
you don't really need it that much. It's like
It's all
it's
preventative, though.
preventative,
Yeah. And educational.
It's a great spot.
At
You
9,
lay
my
on the
father
table,
would
you
have
get stretched.
tossed me a ace bandage and been like, you better go get better. Put some Robitussin on it.
Hell yeah.
Real bandage
Wait,
for
you
your
got
broken toe.
you got a bandage?
I'm about to say, where you got the bandage from?
My father be like, is it bleeding? You all right?
Put some tussin on that motherfucker. You better shut up. And that's wild. I remember, injuries like this. I remember when sports rehab first opened. I don't know if y'all know this story, and I mean, it's public, so. They opened up, and all the athletes, all those jerseys and stuff you see in there, they would, they're always in there. So it was this guy named Pat, Dr. Pat. He just knew how to talk, network, and he was like, yo, I got a facility opening up, and then come in here and get rehab. And it was genius because everybody played on a different team, but you weren't where your team was, right? So I think at the time I'm in Jacksonville or something, whatever, and I'm like, damn, I'm in LA. I need some rehab. And then what I'm gonna do? Go to the at that time, nobody was here. No Rams, no Chargers. So I'm like, where am I going to get good rehab? Curl and Job, right? But then I was like, is that the same? And so he opened up his facility, and dog, it blew up. Everybody knows about it. Here's the problem. So in the NFL, other sports too, but the NFL, they pay for your medical benefits to a certain point. Give you 100 and some thousand based on how many years you play, whatever. And you can use it up, right? Now, it's like food stamps. You got to use it for medical reasons. And if you don't use it for medical reasons, we got some kind of problem. Well, it starts off great. Everybody's going in there for the right reasons and medical reasons. And then some of the cats start imagining, man, I don't need that much treatment. I got 100,000 here, but my treatment's only 10,000. What I'm gonna do with the other 90? And somehow that got to Pat. And somehow, some way, that insurance, that other 90 got spent and submitted
Without it getting used.
without it getting properly used. Dog, Pat, let's be real. I don't know what he is. Maybe Indian, little Indian dude. 2.5 years, I think he got. He in county. He got locked up. Oh, yeah, they locked him up.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, man.
Straight up fraud.
They got that man in jail for real. Damn. Yeah, so him
a
and
couple of guys in this, not CBA, but some
And some
basketball
football
guys,
players.
right?
and some basketball players too.
Glenn Davis
Big
and
Baby, yeah.
and
Yeah.
who else?
Oh, he was involved with that?
No,
Don't
but
quote me.
parallels.
It could be. It's the same thing, and it could be that one. But I know some football players. I know Clinton Porter's got a little moment there, and a couple other
he was
cats.
tied up.
Yeah, so Dr. Pat and Big U, cellmates.
Yeah, Big Baby's in jail for that right now.
Yep.
Yeah. It's. I mean, look, I'm not gonna say it's tempting. I do know what the dynamics are, which is you're sitting there, and there is $100,000 right here, and all they saying is you got to go in the store and buy food. You can't buy toys, but you bought all the food and you still got 90,000 left. Because I used to be on food stamps, and we used to run that game. Like, dog, we got ground beef here, but can I please? And they'd be like, you can't get Snickers. I was like, why? They was like, that's not food. I was like, yes, it is. I said, I'm going to eat it. So then you go from ground beef to let me get some Snickers. Then I try to get my mama cigarettes, and then. And they would let that slide a little bit with the note. And then I was like, all right, let's just take it all the way, baby. Can I get that water gun? No, put that down, boy.
Or you got, or people
How much
just sell
that
the
color
food stamps
TV?
Or they sell them.
and get
Yeah.
the cash and then buy your stuff.
Yeah, that's young drug dealers hustling. Yeah, that's real. So that's Dr. Pat. That's sports rehab, man. He gonna get out.
You know, that happens in a whole lot of different situations. I have one buddy who is an NBA ref, and he got called up because the NBA refs were cashing out they weren't using their first class money. They were flying coach, but not claiming the extra money that
Bang.
they were getting.
Yep.
So a bunch of NBA refs got fired. And that's how my boy got into the league like
But
27
not flying
years
first
ago.
class?
Yeah, well, there was nothing wrong with not flying first class, but they were giving you first class money. So they weren't claiming
You don't
that.
see how that
It was tax fraud. You're flying coach, but you're pocketing the rest of the
No,
money.
I get it. I get what's going on. I mean, I don't think they should have got fired for that. But I
Hell
get
yeah,
it.
you should.
It happens.
Oh yeah, they all got fired.
They should have just used the first class ticket though.
No, I'm with them. I mean, look, that's illegal, and I know why they did it because it's like, look, they give you $1,500 and they say just get there, and then you find out it's only $299 to sit 2 rows back,
Or that Southwest.
and then how many flights? 41 games.
But I'm saying we're talking about short-term thinking versus long-term.
Mm-hmm.
Them saving that little bit of money, they lost their whole salary.
Well, they ain't
So-
think, well, for one, they ain't think they're gonna get caught. Like everybody.
I'm speaking of hindsight. I'm
Okay,
like, they
yeah,
should have
yeah.
just took the
Or they
first
should've
class
just-
flights.
Or they should have just claimed the money on their taxes.
Yeah,
That's what they
That
should have
too.
done.
Yeah, that temptation is real when they designate funds. Big U, large part of that RICO case was all that nonprofit money was going where?
Right.
And
Pay
you
your
know,
bills.
that's what the rich do. First thing a rich person does is start a nonprofit. One, to give back, but two, it really does umbrella a lot of stuff. Like you
Shout
can,
out Project Transition.
shout out, baby. You make it. Oh, I just wrote 2 checks this week.
to himself.
Yeah. I've done that too. Part of it. That was last week. That was last week. No, you can do it. That's the crazy thing. Like everything could be on salary. You could go get vendors and stuff. I remember when I was the first time of my homeboy Rumbo, who cooks, right? And he cooked for one of our events. And I was sitting there like, this feels illegal as fuck. And they was like, why? I was like, because I'm about to pay somebody I actually know. They was like, did he do the service? I was like, yeah. I was like, damn, I ain't going to jail for hooking up Rumbo. I was like, all right, do more events, right? And so that's how the game goes. But then if they say you can only do this, cats are always going to try and stretch it somewhere else, huh?
I have 2 buddies who went to prison over some stuff like that. One worked at an elevator maintenance company, and one ran a couple of project buildings for the CHA, for Chicago Housing. And
He did a horrible job.
they were doing
so
submitting
damn murderous.
bills for stuff they didn't do. And it caught up. It
Oh,
always
every
catches
contractor.
up.
That happens everywhere.
That's every day, every
But
contractor.
it caught up to them.
Yeah.
They did time for
Double the cost and double the time. Everything you got to build. That's real. What's new with y'all? Anything? I just saw y'all motherfuckers like 8 hours ago. Yeah. Why are you so fresh today? What's the you got on Louis Vuitton shoes. Just putting them on blast, y'all. Louis Vuitton shoes. I don't know what kind of velour suede, and then that watch is
That
just
watch is
everything.
just insane.
All the time though. This
I
ain't
know,
nothing
but
new.
it's every time I
it's
see it,
different.
I'm like, that's a bad motherfucker.
Today is
What is that? Rose gold? Pink gold?
Rose. Rose.
made up a whole new goal though.
Right,
Right?
pink gold. Just like the Koreans, they gonna figure out something to sell us. Figure out something new to sell to black folks. You gonna have it. You gonna have it.
Every game you get unnecessary.
It's gonna
rubber.
be up behind the counter. You need some Henny and some pink gold.
I used to always trip while people were mad at the Korean grocery store owner. I was like, why y'all mad at him? He got
They're
a.
jackasses.
No, they weren't.
My parents were.
I should have went to their store then, because everywhere I went where I was stealing, they were nice. They,
Were they nice or polite?
hey, polite. I'm glad they were. Shit, because I got caught. Boy, I got caught one time stealing some Snickers again, and then they were like, we know you, Marcellus. I was like, oh.
Say your name?
Yeah, they knew me. 'Cause it was the store around the corner.
Right.
It was a proximity crime.
His big ass had a mask on. Marcellus, is that you?
Yeah, take that mask off.
Oh, this is when you were a kid.
You're the only 6'6" dude in the whole
What do you think,
neighborhood.
last week? He said, when I was a kid. What do you mean, last week?
Why not?
Dog, you know how bad you must have looked. Like, I'm like, my stages were, I was a thief, like around 10, 11, pyro and thief. That was my stuff. And so I used to go in the store, like everybody, and you're like, oh. And then I start feeling so familiar and cool with them. I was like, oh, hey, how you doing? And then I'm just standing there. I know I'm right by the Snickers and the dried shrimp.
Hands twitching.
Oh yeah, and you just stand. Look, when my kids do dumb shit now, it's so obvious.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But when you were a kid, you thought you were getting away with it. So she probably looking at me like, here you go, about to steal the Snickers. Buy that dried shrimp. He always buy that dried shrimp, and every now and then he buy it. Because dried shrimp cost like $2.99, and there only be like 19 of them little motherfuckers. I didn't have that much money, so I
Fried
get.
shrimp.
You don't remember dry shrimp?
No.
All them little things like this with salt. Oh, they were fire.
Really?
Yeah,
I've never had it before either.
Oh,
No, I
okay.
ain't never
Yeah,
had
that's,
Gene, have you had you have fried dried shrimp from your?
Oh yeah.
yeah. Come on, man.
Y'all sell it at the store?
No. Ours is very Americanized. There's no Asian food in ours. Yeah.
No, mine wasn't the Asian food. It was just Negroes like dry shrimp. Cheap dry
Hold on a
shrimp.
second, but where you were getting the Snickers?
Salty and crunchy.
Hell yeah, salt and crunch.
right
They
next to
love
Is there a
it.
magazine stand behind you too?
Well, you mean outside the store
Yeah,
or
there's
in
the
there?
candy rack
Oh
right
yeah,
behind you.
the hats. They had the hats up, the T-shirts, the cigarettes. Yeah, I guess magazines. I didn't buy them, so I never really paid attention.
X-rated
stole 'em.
magazines.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, the Playboy. And all that. I wasn't into that. I skipped that phase. I didn't do Playboy.
Yes, you did.
No, I really didn't. I'm not gonna lie. I did Cinemax though. I did.
Skinemax.
Oh yeah,
That's what
Skinemax.
it's called,
Boy, me and that floor had fun. Boy, I was married to my living room floor for about 5 years. I like old floor. I was sitting there watching TV. I was like, old floor. Well, no, I ain't do the magazines didn't do nothing to me. I was like, man, whatever. Oh, whatever. All right, that's fresh. But nah, I need a video or I needed that flow. So yeah. So what was I? So then I actually, I got the Snickers in my pocket, and I'm like, damn. I'm walking right. I was like, oh. I've been in the store probably like 10 minutes, ain't bought shit. So
They know.
duh.
They know.
Yeah. Right. And then they was like, Marcellus. I was like, let me see your pockets. I was like, that's how they talk to you. She was like, Linda was like, let me see your pockets. I was like, what do you mean?
Rapper making all kind of noise.
I know.
She's like, all right, I'll be right back.
And I got that warning.
Right.
I got that same warning. You do it again, I'm going to tell your mama. The same one I got when I got caught in the real store at the mall. They said, you do it again, we going to tell the police. And I was like, damn, they called my principal. So I'm saved by grace. I think a lot of us are. You got to save by grace. Y'all got to ever, like you did it and it could have been ugly. Because I see some cats get arrested, little kids or whatever, get arrested for the first time. And then they on that track. Now, maybe they did more or maybe they didn't have enough capital in the store or the situation. But I wasn't protected because I was a football player. I was a nice kid who knew the people.
Who was a football player?
Nah, I can't go there. People always say that. I wasn't good
You
enough.
say you was a track star and number
No, but
one.
did they
in the
even know who
city.
you were?
They didn't even know. I mean,
No,
they ain't gonna know track
They knew him
me.
by name.
No,
Nah.
but they didn't know if he was a football player. Like one of my friend's buddies, they own a dry cleaner up in Calabasas. For the longest time, they had no idea who Dr.
You
Dre
didn't know the
was.
stereotypes,
Right?
did they?
No. They literally asked him, "What kind of doctor are you?" You know? They
Yeah.
had no clue what Dr. Dre usually says.
Yeah.
First generation Asian
Yeah.
Americans, they don't
That's interesting.
usually associate.
It's not even
somebody-
Koreans. That's one of the things that perturbs me when people be like, oh, man, it's because you play football.
No.
And I was like, dog, do y'all, first of all, as a pro athlete, pro football players, people walk by every day and don't know. Be real. Like, it's some cats out here, you're like, oh, you play? I meet cats all the time. I'm like, oh, you play? Where you play? And they're like, oh, okay. And then we go back and forth. So that's part one. But part two, people really think it's like this yellow brick road. Yeah, maybe Travis Hunter and them. But half the cats that you just good, you're good at your high school, a couple girls know you, a couple of the homies know you. But if you go out and gym pop, people ain't like, at 15, like, oh, yeah, we got you. And that's what I think a lot of times I hear from the general public. They like, the only reason you good is because you play sports. And I was like, you know how big my team was? All them dudes play sports. And I didn't get any favors. Now, maybe I'm an anomaly. Maybe it's because I look at it differently. But did you get favors growing up? Because you play, well, tennis is tough. Because everybody know you play tennis. If you play tennis, you play tennis.
Right.
You're right.
We'd let everybody. I mean, I got favors because my father was somebody in Chicago, and my friends' fathers were. So that's how we got away with stuff. Although we did stuff, but we never got caught either. But even I went to a high school that was full of bigwigs kids, basically. The mayor's niece and nephew were there, and all the politicians and a bunch of corporate dudes. So I was telling somebody the wild thing was, we used to go to the beach. This is in high school. We would go to the beach, to North Avenue Beach, and bring kegs of beer.
In high school?
In high school. And the police would block off the beach so nobody else could mess with us. And we're 16, 17, 18 years old, and drink is 21. But that's kind of stuff we ended up getting
You
away
grew
with.
up white.
Right.
not only because he got away with all that, but you had kegs.
You had a kegger.
You had kegs. I thought you were going to say Cisco or something. But we said a keg.
We would have our whole class out there.
Was that before the Boston Tea Party? Just asking.
Hey, he cocked that shit. Training day on your
He been sitting on that one.
But yeah, you can see that. Oh, that thing came from way back. Hold that while you sitting.
All right, you got me.
You got me.
So you were drinking in high school?
Yeah, junior and senior year.
Oh shit!
But I was gonna say, back in the day, I feel like it wasn't so uncommon to see somebody under 21 have a drink. I mean, a lot of parents would be like, "Hey, you could take a sip. You could try this." Your parents never did that?
No, my
You were
parents.
under
Yeah,
21?
we had that sip. But I mean, I drank in college, but I ain't drank in high school.
In college, you weren't
Senior year?
21.
High school?
High school?
Hell no.
Oh, you were too busy.
I
drinking.
judged y'all motherfuckers. I was like, y'all fucking up y'all
He was also
future.
trying to make it. He was
Yeah,
also
you were trying to make it.
So that's
Well,
different.
we were judgy too, freshman and sophomore year, and then junior year.
Then
we
you're
were
like, oh, this-
let's try this shit.
They
And
onto
then
something.
senior year, we added weed to it.
Damn, no wonder you didn't make it in tennis. Crackhead, motherfucker.
And after college, you added that 2C.
He was the first one to know it.
Progression.
Progression, like Kobe. Damn, criminal.
Y'all didn't-
No, we did not.
we
Crackhead.
used to have a place. This dude we called the Tray Man, and it was a big gray stone building like you would see in Harlem or something. And you'd walk in, you walk up a flight of steps, and knock on the door, and the slit would open. Oh wow! And you
Like in the movies.
Yeah, and you slid $3 in there. They close the slit.
$3?
Yeah, that's why we called him the Tray Man.
Yeah,
'cause it was
yeah.
$3.
Donald
And they-
Penn's
New
kids.
Jack City.
And they and then they slide out a little.
They went up in the corner for real.
The corner.
Yep, they slide out a little envelope with weed in it.
Oh, wow.
And it was enough weed so you could roll like 5 joints from it for $3.
Wow.
That damn inflation, boy.
For real.
And it was crappy weed too. So, but that's all you could get back then.
All I
that
keep
dirt.
hearing is how good people could turn out. Like, we shouldn't discard anybody because you were a crackhead in junior, senior year. And look at you, you're Richie. I was a klepto, whatever the hell. Fire starter. And who knows what sneaky was.
He ain't gonna tell you.
He ain't going to tell you.
I know nothing. I know nothing.
I believe the fifth.
I know nothing.
He out there in
It
Indiana
wasn't me.
in them cornfields. There's some bodies in them cornfields, wherever the hell he grew up.
Some cows still tipped.
I always think about that. I'm like, dog, how close we were to like it not working out. And some part of me is like globally like, no, it worked out because I made enough right decisions. But sometimes like, get off that horse and be like, dog, it could have been you. Did y'all see this video of this YouTuber and this other YouTuber in Vegas like 2 days ago or something?
I saw that.
Dog, it felt like you were just walking down the street and all of a sudden he just turned and said, you, bah, 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 bah. And it was just that simple. Like, I mean,
Right
they had a
there
little
on the
beef.
street.
Right there on the street.
Like it didn't matter. I mean, on tape, on the street.
And the craziest thing is, I don't know, tell me if y'all with me. I think about that a lot. And I think about it in grave ways of like, what if right now that incident happens right next to me? And then I'm like, am I protected? Because it has not. Growing up, those little shootings and stuff were like, they were almost orchestrated. Like, you knew he messed with him. You knew that, be careful because they gonna come back, that kind of stuff. Like, you had a heads up, it felt like. It wasn't as random for me, but now it feels random as hell.
That wasn't random at all, though.
Well, that's true. He knew it. He knew the guy.
Yeah.
It was an online beef. for
But
like
it's
a long
random
time.
to you
Yeah.
if you just walking down the strip and say, huh, what's that big ass drink they be having? And you just sitting there.
I was standing next to this girl one time. She got shot in the eye. What? She was right next to me.
Damn.
Like the most random thing. It was
Really?
in front of Springfield High School in Queens, New York. But everybody that knows that school knows it's like.
That's it.
Anthony Mason went there.
Yeah.
We was standing there. We was just waiting for the city bus, and all of a sudden I heard like the sound, but it sounded like it was loud, but it didn't sound like it was right there.
Yeah.
And I heard it, and then all of a sudden I just heard somebody scream, and I looked next to me, and then she was just like gushing blood.
She died?
No,
Oh.
she's still alive. I saw her like on Instagram maybe like a year or two ago.
She-
I mean, the eye messed
Eye
up.
gone, yeah.
But
Damn.
she's still alive.
Hey.
I think in that one you're talking about, the guy's wife died too. The guy who got shot, his wife got shot too. So
Oh, he
it was,
really.
it was
I
tragic.
did read somebody else got killed.
Yeah,
I didn't
there
know
was
it was
two.
his wife.
It was
Me
his
either.
wife. So it was-
Did they catch him yet? Do you know?
Yeah, I think so.
They caught him. I mean, everybody know who it is. So it's
Yeah.
like, where do you go?
He was a YouTuber also.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had some kind of YouTube beef, and then like he was accusing him of I don't know, like taking his stuff, whatever, was it plagiarizing maybe, and then it is caught up.
I mean, they're literally on the strip, walking down the strip. You see dude just turn around and just start letting off on the dude.
Dog. Okay, this is my dark thought. So I'm always thinking like I'm out with the family a lot, and if something like that were to happen around me, or like I'm like, damn, this randomness. I grew up with a code like don't play with that fire, right? So that's why you were like, did you drink? I was like, hell no, I was just scared straight. Like I know too many cats get off the rails. So my nerdy ass grows up around all this craziness, and I'm like, oh, I escaped it, yay. And I'm thinking, I'm not lying, dog. I was a kid, and I always heard about Encino for one reason. Michael Jackson lived there. I was like, damn, I'm gonna go move where Michael Jackson lives one day. Wherever I thought it was like past Six Flags or something. I was like, dog, where is Encino? Because he had Neverland Ranch,
Neverland
right?
is Encino?
No, that's I was young and broke and dumb, didn't know. But I was like,
Their family house was in Encino.
yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So I'm thinking like, I'm gonna move one day. That's the goal. That's my different strokes. Move on up. I'm gonna go to Encino, Neverland Ranch, and be way out there. And nothing happened to Michael Jackson. Ain't no drive-bys. Man, shit. Encino gangster now too. It's random out here. It's random everywhere. And I hate that, but I also, who am I to say crime stay there? You know what I mean? And that's sometimes I grew up thinking crime stays there because it was always around me and it wasn't supposedly anywhere else.
It's interesting you're saying that because of where you grew up, you wanted to get away from all that.
Hell yeah.
So I have a different point. So you're talking about like drinking in high school, meaning like we're towards the end of the school year. Let's go try it out, hang out, not Richie throw keg parties on the beach kind of drinking. But there's an element of if you grow up in the suburbs where everything is just it's sort of like you're living in a bubble. Nothing's happening. For me, I'm thinking, when do I expose my kids to a little bit of drinking drugs so that they don't discover it on so they don't discover it on their own.
Clip that. Clip that. That's going viral. Would I let my kids smoke some?
When do I expose them to
Well, but do you want to expose them under your guidance or let them figure it out on their own?
Oh, I know what you're saying. That's real. Because in college, you did feel that like that line, that demarcation between, you used to being out and you just getting out and you don't know how to act.
That's
like,
right.
the girls especially.
Especially the girl.
The girls especially. Like you could tell who finally got a little freedom and can't go home.
Right.
You know
it
what I
ain't
mean?
the drugs there. That's just the control.
Yeah.
They go crazy.
Yeah. I don't.
Because what you
Yeah.
just said happened to me. I found that freedom in college. I almost got kicked out that first year. Academic probation 2 quarters in a row. Didn't care.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have my mom and dad on my ass every day anymore.
Yeah, that's
so
the
there's
thing.
that boundary of you're trying to protect your child, but either extreme. Too much, too little.
Right.
Probably just.
And you had an unlimited liquor supply.
Yeah. It's
cake parties.
Oh yeah.
I also think it depends where you grow up too, because like I feel like kids who are like deep in the suburbs are a lot more separated from.
It's a bubble.
They living in a bubble, and I'm just using New York as an example. You're kind of thrown into everything
Very
at an
different.
early age. So by the time I got
Very
to,
different.
like, my parents didn't have to really introduce me to things, because by the time they would have probably tried to introduce me, I already knew about it.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
'cause,
On to the next
yeah,
thing.
we were already outside and everything is going on. So
And that's the tough part about what he brought up is there's no perfect balance. So now the bad of your experience is you're probably 13, 15, you in them streets.
Seeing everything.
And I'm like, I would not want that for MJ, who's next up. But at the same time, I also don't want him to be 18 and 19 in them dorms acting like he don't know how to act. You know what I'm saying? And coming back home or, you know, jeopardizing things. I err on the side of do not expose them. I err on that side. I'd rather have me an angel and a nun and a dude who don't know jack and they clowning him. You don't know about that? I'm like, nope.
Well,
I'd rather that
Yeah,
than the guy who's like, oh man, that ain't shit because I don't did that. You want to do it again? I don't.
but water finds its level.
Yeah.
And you can protect them all you want to. You can't protect them all the time.
Oh no.
And kids are going to be doing stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say how. It's
No matter what.
Do you
I
know
mean,
anyone that's clean?
I just-
Perfectly
Oh,
clean.
oh, don't get my high school twisted.
Well, you drink. Oh, you drink though. You drink though.
I'm just
No. Oh, our high school, we were into playing with BB guns. I guess that's still corny. We used to play Ghost. Now, this was a game. Ghost was a game where you went with your girlfriend or the girl you like, all the girls you like, and all the dudes they like. Like, we'll all go to a basketball game. And then they kept the whole building open, like the school building, right next to the gym. And it's like, Ghost. And that means go in there and start kissing, start grinding. Like we in here like, oh snap, it's like a school dance in the dark. And sometimes you heard. The Playboys y'all talking about? Yeah. And I was like, that. So that was the worst thing. That was the worst thing. It was like dating early. Like,
was doing that in a regular school day.
really?
Like, we ain't have to wait for an event for that.
I guess I was in the bubble.
Staircases.
I told y'all the nerve,
That
dog.
was going on in staircases, all types.
Really?
Janitor closet.
Third
Yeah.
period?
During
Oh, okay, yeah,
during
you're
the
right.
day-
On the
during-
school bus, I remember that. Because I remember one time we had to roll the windows down. We was like, what the hell?
Got steamy.
That was not happening at my school.
Learned that early
Really?
too.
Wait, kids
I
weren't
learned
like.
that wasn't the way to go.
No.
Are you serious?
I went to a
experience.
a strict private school, a strict Catholic school.
No, see, I went to a strict private,
was-
what do you call it, Baptist school too. But because, you know, I can't say it's the reason why, but there were scandals between teachers and students, the principal and students. It doesn't matter if you're at a private school. Human beings are human beings.
We never got that lucky.
That was that was happening. Yeah, that was happening in my junior high school. Kids was messing with each other.
You got your
Really?
hand up.
In school?
Ooh, me.
Oh no!
Everywhere. I remember their names.
Oh, man.
Girls was.
Stop, I'm not.
Right, and see, Marcellus, the thing is, your kids are gonna probably go to the same schools basically that my kids went to, and what you're not gonna be able to control is other families.
Oh, you got me twisted.
No, because
Yes,
you
yes,
just have,
I am-
You
I
have
am-
to get information.
No,
that's where information comes
I know you
in.
got to be nice enough to keep the
Because
communication lines open.
Everybody doesn't run their house the way you run
Oh,
your
I
house.
know, and that's why
He
they.
ain't letting them go there.
First of all, I never spent the night at anyone's house ever growing up, and my kids won't.
Me too.
That's part one. Never. I don't give a fuck how much. My bet. Nope. 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. We coming to get them, and then we coming back.
But
And
you're
that's-
okay with them being here, though.
Who?
Like other kids. Not.
I don't necessarily want it, but I'm not gonna say no. Like, because I don't want their parents on my head too. Their
It's tricky
liability.
nowadays.
Yeah, it's different, dog. Somebody got an uncle that he ain't verified. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not. MJ already know. Do not ask me. You can stay as long as you want. And most parties and parties that be like drop them off. I'm here. I'm like, I went to one on Saturday. I was just sitting there like, damn, you ain't going nowhere? Nope. I'm about to see how y'all play.
I love that. I love that.
I am a helicopter motherfucker on purpose. But I know what you're saying. I'm just gonna check some parents.
And you got to watch out for older siblings of those
Oh,
kids.
yeah.
That's more of the problem.
Yeah.
Oh, so you categorize yourself as a helicopter parent.
That's what the world calls it. I call it just being a parent. But I'll take the label. I don't care about the label. I am not letting you ever think, oh, what kind of parent are you? You don't let your kids breathe. No, because I brought them to Breath of Life, motherfucker. And I'm going to keep this thing going. And then when these parents be thinking they slick, they be saying little dumb shit to the kids and don't care, let the kids do whatever. Kids fall down, don't care, don't clean them up. I'm like, hell no. I see enough when you're trying to be on your good behavior, let alone when I'm gone. I don't trust like that. And that's from my upbringing. My mom was like, hell no, I'm coming to pick you up.
I'm a little more inclined, not right now, but I'm a little more inclined to let my son stay over at somebody's house when it gets to a certain age than my daughter. My daughter, it ain't happening unless she's like 16, 17, where she's old enough to make decisions. But even still, you know, depending on who's in that house.
College.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
But no choice by then.
Yeah, what I'm saying.
But that,
When
when
she
I say
leaves.
16 because that plays into the conversation we just having.
Yeah.
You trying to, at 16, she's wise. If you raise her the right way, she's wise enough to understand certain situations aren't right. But if you wait for her to get that experience in college, she might go crazy out there because she's
But why
never
the
been
different
away.
approaches for your son versus your daughter?
I feel like you're just naturally more protective over girls than boys. I mean, I think that's how most are. And I want my son to be able to feel like he can handle himself, you know, wherever he goes at a certain age. You know,
That's how he run his bank account. Deposits are boys, withdrawals are girls, and the withdrawals can make you have insufficient funds. You know, so you're looking at your daughter like no withdrawals, but go ahead and make some deposits, son. That's how it is, really, because the dude got the sword. So you're like, oh, you know, sometimes you just be like, he'll be all right, but I don't care if my daughter act up in college because if she acts up, she is now mature, old enough, grown enough to now make those decisions. I don't root for it. I don't want it, but she ain't going to be doing that in my house. Like, she going to know this is the law and this is the way.
And when they go to college, you won't think that. You won't think she's.
I
you won't think
didn't
she's
think that.
mature enough and old enough, because they'll still be like your baby.
Yeah, yeah.
And you'll still know that they still don't think like an adult.
Oh, exactly. You
know what I mean?
My daughter went to college. I know one of them dudes or two of them dudes or some of them dudes knew her. It got to be. And I'm like, yeah, I've seen a little boyfriend and a little basketball player here and there. Yeah. I know that look. I know that look, boy.
that's a different conversation. And I don't know if you want to get into that convo, but I was going to ask you, as a father of daughters.
Yeah, yeah.
At that state, did you get to a point where you were like, I know this little boy is over here touching on my daughter?
Well, I know one now because she lived with him, so I know.
Oh,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
She 26 now.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
a whole grown woman.
True.
I'm talking about that
and
first time you realize it's like,
He's still struggling with it.
Yeah, I see it. I'm trying to. This little
because you know when you was doing it, like you see the signs.
Oh,
like,
you know the signs. He buy the dry shrimp and the Snickers.
And,
Just hovering.
and he
like-
walks in saying, "Hello, Mr. Wiley."
right.
Respectful?
It's the most.
he walked
Eddie
in-
Haskell. If
walk
it's
in
Eddie
saying,
Haskell,
"What's up, Marcellus?"
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Once he touching it, it ain't Mr. Wiley no more.
what up, nigga?
Yeah, chin on high.
It go right
Why
to
your
the
chin
fridge.
so high?
Right. Go right to the
Good.
fridge and look at you the whole way.
You ain't got no shrimp.
Start drinking out the bottle.
You need something?
Right.
How you doing, Mr. Wiley? You good? Hey, Morocco, won't you get us something to drink? You know what I'm saying?
Lots of ice.
And then she walked by and go get you like, yeah, girl.
Nah, that'll get you shot. That'll get you
That little boy gonna die tonight. Oh, all right, we're gonna do a show, I
Yeah,
think.
there's it.
Oh, yeah, I'm out. I'm starting to sweat. Oh, this is getting real. Oh, snap. I can't do it.
Sleep on that for a day or two. We'll get
Yeah.
you back up on Monday.
Oh, boy.
That applies to you too.
That you
because
come.
you went through it.
Listen, my theory was always I can teach as much as I can, but when the right boy comes up saying the right things the right way,
say that
all
all the
that
time.
shit goes out the window.
Yeah, it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
Period.
I mean, because it was a wrap for me, too.
I did it.
When I
Yeah.
felt that tingle, oh, my gosh.
Yep.
Mama, shut up. I'm going to find a way. I snooked and took my mama car one time just to get that tingle. And I was like, man. And my mama went ballistic. And I was like, Mama, you know it. You did it. My mama had a kid at 17. Shut up, Mama. I was like, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm with y'all. All right, we got to do some more show, I guess. Our
thought
topics,
this
I
was-
like our intros
was
better than
the
the show.
The intros are great.
The intros is it. People are like, damn, where we going now? I love it. All right, let's go where Jay Williams, who I just saw in Cabo, who's a partner at Galway Live. Shout out Jay Williams. That's a big company, and he's doing great.
What's Galway Live?
Oh, that's the event, and Galway is an insurance conglomerate. It's a big dog. Galway insures a lot of things that we know. They got a sports entertainment division recently opened, but they do a ton of insurances in the space. Jay Williams was there hosting. And what we're going to talk about is him blaming our country for the MVP drought that is happening. He's saying all these, the Jokic, the SGA, none of them are American, and they're all winning MVP because of cancel culture. Cancel culture basically saying these coaches can't coach like they need to coach. So America is getting a step behind because in Europe or wherever they're coming from, they getting after them. So what you think about it, Terry?
Well, I think it's this is the first time we've ever had a guard win MVP who was foreign. So I think this is a change. It's a real the bell is ringing that we are behind this American basketball.
Wow.
And I do agree that the AAU system is part of that problem. When you look at the foreign kids, they have those basketball camps, kind of like soccer camps, where they practice all week and play one game a week. Over here, we practice once and play 4 games a weekend. And then what happens is that you're playing all those games and you're reinforcing bad habits and getting praise for it. You're getting praise and notoriety for it. You got coaches who are clout chasing for clout and Nike deals and shoes and waiting for handouts from these players when they get to the league. And if we look at it back in the day, we did have a system that would rival the foreign system. It was called high school basketball.
Yeah.
It was called college basketball,
Yeah.
where you took pride in winning your state championship. You took pride in trying to win a national championship. You learn discipline from high school coaches, college coaches. You learn how to win and appreciate winning. These are things that you learn on that level. Because once you get to the pros, you should already have your fundamentals. That came from the high school level. That came from the college level. So we're not getting that now in AAU, and that's where we're falling short.
It's a little bit blanket statement. You can't say all AAU programs are not providing the discipline, the fundamentals. Some are built well. There's just a lot that are garbage, to be quite honest.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but you can say that about everything. There's no absolutes. But AAU does suck, I think. And I'm a part of AAU, but I think it sucks. I can tell because you walk in the gym, too many guys are just playing basketball. And I'm like, okay, to your point, this happened in football. And one of the things I really think is like a golden rule is to use practice as practice. Because I remember when practice was practice, that means what can't I do well? We're going to work on today. The team, the individual groups, everything was practice. Like we're not trying to see perfection on Wednesday, practice. And then I remember it switched. And you know why it switched? It's because the coaches were getting fired before they could even really teach the team and learn, So the coaches, it starts with the coach. He's like, I got 1 year, maybe 2. I'm playing the best. So then that trickles down to he tells all his coaches, make sure these guys are ready to play. Okay? So guess how you get ready to play? Now in practice, we playing. And practice went from practice to performance. So you can't come on Wednesday, and I couldn't do a good swim move in the NFL. I could do a good rip move, but I needed to work on my swim. You better not get in practice and work on your swim, the one you can't do, because then you're going to lose to the other guy. Then your backup's going to take your job, and then coach is going to play him because he's practicing better than you, which is really he's just performing. I'm still probably a better player. I'm just trying to round out my game, and you won't let me. So then I see it at AAU right now. The kid goes for 28. He does the same thing and exploits this one team because they can't defend that. Good for him. Here's the problem. This AAU team going to have to play that AAU team, and then that guy's going to play the guy from Europe. And that guy from Europe ain't trying to perform. He practicing. And then he going to meet him, and he going to be round, and your ass going to be singular. Maybe he got 2 things going. He going to wear you out. And that's what track and field tells me that and show me that more than anything. Like, you fast in L.A., good for you. Wait till you see Omaha. Then wait till you see Lexington. Then wait till you see Nebraska and all these places. And you're like, shit, everywhere they coming from, and they round. And so AAU is just telling these kids kind of to stay a little too singular for my taste.
One thing. And another thing is this, I don't think that the coaches, they can't really coach these kids. Like you can't instill discipline. You can't yell at them. You can't curse at them. And why?
That was Jay's point.
Because then they'll transfer. they'll leave it. They'll
Path of least
new
resistance.
AAU team.
Yep.
You be seeing these kids playing for 4 or 5 high schools. And they'll get the transfer portal in college. And look at the pros. If you get coached, look at Malone.
Denver.
You coach them too hard, you get fired, or
Peace.
you force your way out.
Peace.
So that whole mentality is trickled down into the pro sports.
But that depends on the team, the kids that are on the team. We've seen it all. We've seen coaches that are cursing, yelling at their kids, and it works.
Yeah.
Those kids go flip. All right, I got you, coach.
Yeah.
And they're back on track.
They go hard.
But there are some kids that are like, no, I don't want anything to do with this. The parents too. I don't want anything to do with this, and they leave. But there's no perfect fit. Some coaches thrive with the yelling, cursing. Some are more the quieter. I'll show you with my body and explain, but I'm not going to yell and curse at you. Just every child responds differently to.
But that's not, I don't think what he's saying. Well, discipline is not about your volume either, because your words lose power the higher the volume. Like a Belichick, he yelled in certain moments. Most of the time he just was, and then you knew what it was, right? Who else? Saban. Those guys would go crazy, and that's highlight material. What's normal is them telling you, you know the standard. We preaching the standard. I think I didn't need coaches to yell. My best coaches didn't yell. Everybody yells sometimes, but I'm talking about they didn't lead with yelling, but they led with accountability, consequences. Yes. Like you were like, if I fuck, like your parents, if I fuck up, I know what's gonna happen. And I think it's always that with any kid. I'm just down on our programs in general, our AAU and everything, just because the results speak for itself. Like we ain't gotta lie about it. We could just still look around and say, whoa, there's a lot of basketball, there's a lot of game. So to the point, we're on the AAU team, and quickly I realized my son, as long as he's on this AAU team, is going to have to do skills practices. Always. Like, right? And then I was looking for like who, and I already knew him, but it was weird. We disconnected Corey, and we got back together. But, here come that ass. You turned the AC on, ass conditioning.
Justin is sweating under his velvet over here.
You sweating? You hot? You hot?
8 layers of clothes on over here.
Got on that sweater. But, like I was just like, I could tell that, like if you're going to round out, if you're going to be everything, you're going to be everything. Eugene's just leaving. Damn, I told you look how polite he is.
That was very polite.
He didn't even say bye. All right.
Well, you know what? I think I don't see how cancel culture has anything to do with it. But I think America's system is training everybody the same way. And I think that's the problem.
Oh, okay.
I think the methods, like everybody goes to your boy Corey. There's like a handful of trainers here in LA that everybody takes their kids to, and they train everybody the exact same way. Yep. The same dribble combinations, the same step backs, because they think they're serving to a skill set. The long stretch four and the centers that can shoot and all that. Yeah. So the specialization, I think, is missing.
More than the cancel culture.
More than cancel culture. These AAU is driven by money.
Yeah.
Right? So those coaches, no matter what a certain player is doing in an AAU team, especially if it's like high level like EYBL and like the Adidas Tour, the big ones, certain players are absolutely protected, and some are even getting paid to be there, right? So those kids they get to do whatever they want on that court, right? So nobody's getting canceled. You know what I mean? It's more letting them run roughshod than it is canceling somebody, because they don't play team ball, and then all of a sudden, and you heap on top of that, the training is exactly the same for everybody, and I think that's where the problem is.
I agree with you on that. And it made me, I was thinking about this the other day, and then I actually heard LeBron say it yesterday. I think it was a clip where he was talking to Steve Nash on his podcast. And what he was saying is, back in the day, I didn't have any trainer. we went outside. Like we played all day, and that's how you worked on your game. And I feel like that is part of the difference between now and then. As you said, if everybody's just practicing with the same person, they all practice the same moves, they all do the same thing, then when you get in the game, everybody just looks the same.
Looks the same.
Opposed to back in the day where you get out there and just go to the park all day and you play 5, 10 different kids, and all those kids play completely different, and you got to learn to adapt to everyone that you play, and then I think that makes you stand out a little bit more.
That's right. And in the park, people will know what you can't do.
And tell you.
And tell you. Oh, he can't shoot.
Bring it to you.
I used to tell people, if I knew you couldn't shoot, I'd tell you.
Step back
Shoot
on
it.
them. Go ahead.
I mean,
we
like
call it
self-check.
self-check.
Self-check. Self-check. And that was the most degrading thing ever. But either you were going to brick it or you were going to be out there practicing your shot.
And you don't get that when you go into these trainers.
These trainers,
'Cause
right.
they'll tell you, hey, work on this, work on that, but they're not really challenging you. Because I remember, like you said, I remember being in the park, and if I'm guarding somebody, I yell out, he ain't got no left hand.
No left hand.
He ain't got no left hand. And I'll stand and put my hands behind my back and just let them go.
Right.
You force people into their weaknesses.
Yep, and
expose them.
you can see it even in high school basketball. I have so many friends whose sons, and my little cousin was a first team All-State. I was going to games, and you can see the deficiencies immediately.
Yeah.
They can go boom, 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 and step back, but they can't take 4 dribbles with their left to finish to the hole.
So we think that's because kids have left going outside to work on it, and you think that? Because
Yeah.
I actually don't, but I mean, because most kids who played outside didn't go all the way with it. They played good.
Well, back in the day,
But it
everybody played outside.
Well, that's the point. So that's like saying now I got a car, and then back in the day they didn't have a car because that's what everyone did. Everyone went outside, so that was their access. Now everyone goes a different way, and this is their access. I think these players are more skilled than they were back then. Let's be real, like outside or not,
They are. They're way more technical.
way more skilled. Like,
But then
way
they
more.
also
But it's not efficient. They
see-
don't use it well.
right. And see what you run into is a group of kids who are taught to obey. Right. You got. Let's say MJ, great kid. Right. He does what you say, what you expect him to say.
You better.
And he's going to Corey or whoever else is teaching them.
Yeah.
They learn in a certain way where their mind isn't saying, okay, I have to do it differently, even though I'm taught to do it this way. I need to adjust and go off script for a little while to make this really
What are your
effective.
antidotes? What is your evidence of that? Because I think this.
I've seen it. I have friends
where?
whose kids are high-level basketball players.
But aren't they
And-
the
and
same
it's-
kids who of yesterday who went out in the park and now they didn't make it? So these kids who are not adapting at the high school, college level are the kids who won't make it of this era.
Well, they end up having to teach them that it's okay to adapt and it's okay to go off script and it's okay if your coach is calling this play and you know it's not going to work, you may have to ad-lib or improvise.
So last era, we had to tell them to be more creative. In this era, we got to tell them to be more
this era
This
you
era
have
more
to
creative.
be more creative.
more creative. Last era, we had to tell them to
be more technical.
technical,
and more
discipline.
strict because you were playing too much playground ball.
Yeah.
And one mixtape shit don't work in a real game.
Yeah, I remember that era. I remember when that was a
Everybody was
battle.
doing that, yeah.
Right. I
Yeah.
mean, think about it. The only and one player to make it was Rayford Austin.
Give it to my Lou.
Queens
Skip to
legend.
Malou.
Yeah,
Throw
legend.
that out
You know,
there.
and he used to talk about how he would tell everybody, all these cats, he was like, all these cats have the skill to play, but they don't have
They don't have the
the
discipline.
know-how to put the playground stuff away
Yeah.
and just go with the discipline stuff.
You know what a good example of that too is you ever see somebody training or learning how to box and you see videos and when they
Stephen
hitting
A.
that,
Smith.
Oh, God.
and they hit with the Popeye
Rock 'em,
punch.
sock 'em. Rock 'em, sock 'em.
They on them speed bags and they hitting the punching bag and everything looks sharp. It looks great because they're learning how to do all the proper hits. But then they get in the ring and it don't look like that no more. Because now there's things flying your way that you couldn't train necessarily for. Like there's a difference when you actually in the real thing versus just practicing moves.
That's
and I feel
right.
like that's what's happening with a lot of these trainers. They're training them the right moves, but they're not actually using them during that training. It's just teaching them how to do it. So then when they get out there, it's like you said, it's just, I don't know how to describe it. It just seems so like robotic.
Yeah.
Like everything, every kid looks the same.
Yeah, they're doing the
outside
same,
of athleticism.
Same exact moves. And I've even seen like Kenyon. Kenyon has pulled my friends' sons up and been like, I see this, you're doing this move, and that's great, but try this. You don't need to do 4 dribbles in that. Just do a fake and then go up and you're wide open.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it has to be a practical method to it also.
I don't know, dog. It sounds like, from my vantage point of basketball, is like this era on every level is poo-pooing on these kids. I think these kids are so much better than the kids. These high schools I go to, when I see Sherman Oaks, Notre Dame, Sierra Canyon play, and when I'm like there live and I'm watching, I'm like, I remember I went to Westchester High, which is like, we had Nike contract in the 80s, like nationally known. And they were good. They ain't this. And I was like, they would have wore us out. And I know they're going to get mad, but oh well. The thing I see right now is everyone is so good, we don't get to see that gap like we used to see. It used to be a gap where it's like, oh, him. But now, him is them. It's like all of them can do, like you said, all of them can shoot a 3. All of them can do the step back. All of them can do the cross. All of them can do the yank. I'm like, they all can do it. So it's like we're seeing an era of so much talent. We're not calling it defense. We're just saying, oh, it's just a lot of players that do the same thing. It's because they all can stop it. They all can start it. And that wasn't the way I grew up watching basketball. I saw it was a big difference. Crenshaw, Westchester, they had guys. They had, Kevin Ollie and all these kind of cats. Yeah, and they were sick, and they made it to the pros. But I'm like, dog, it's so many kids I see right now, I don't know if it's really the trainers.
So what's the difference then between the Europeans and us? If we all have the same skills, they all can step back and shoot and have all the technical skills, and it's a difference in how they come in up playing the game. Is that what the difference is? Are they playing in a tougher league over there? Like, why are we not getting MVPs right now? And why don't we see a clear MVP in the future that's American? Because the next few is going to be Wembanyama or Luka.
Luka, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, who do we see as an American player who can take that step?
My answer is like why you like traveling. And you said he likes to vacation. You like to travel. Right. You like to go somewhere and see how simple it can be. And then that gives you more of life, more joy, more appreciation, more perspective. Right. In Europe, we have the curse of the gifted. We're so talented, we skip steps because we're too talented. Dog, whatever you're great at, if it was basketball or high jump, and then somebody who ain't that talented do it with you, you're not doing the same warm-up as him. We ain't doing the same. I ain't starting at the same level of jump. I'm starting at 6'5". You starting at 5'6". Like all that. And every guy that I knew growing up, be real, everybody, the most talented cat that you saw did not make it. Mm-hmm. Facts? Okay. Every sport you can name, I know a guy that was insane, did not make it. And it's because it's the curse of the gifted. Over there, just like one right now, you see an old school city versus suburb team. Suburb team is always more disciplined probably, and they're going to play together, and they're going to figure it out because they know they limited. That's why people say the WNBA is a better league, more fundamentals, because they know they can't do much. And I swear Europe, they've accepted. We can't do much. I mean, they getting them Africans going in there, Giannis and them. But they can't do much, so they're going to do it all, and they have a higher IQ than us.
So where does cancel culture fall into this?
He said that a coach who wants to make you a higher IQ basketball player, he knows how you come in there jumping out the gym, shooting threes, and can do no wrong. And he's like, but you're not perfect. And let me work on those imperfections. Oh, I'm good. And then at that point, I'm going to lose this kid if I tell this kid who he really is. One, I can't coach him like I can in Europe because I ain't giving him room and board and stipend, and he ain't a little mini pro. So cancel culture is the fear of the consequences as a coach, as someone who's running a program. If I do this, I'm going to get in trouble. I'm either lose this kid or somebody's going to reprimand me. So I think he's saying we're not getting coached well enough or hard enough. We are talented enough, but you get an IQ from realizing that talent doesn't do it alone. The Tom Brady effect.
So I mean,
the top high school coaches here in LA coach really hard. Like Andre Chevalier at Sierra Canyon, Reggie down at Redondo, Rabito at Harvard Westlake, the coach of Notre Dame, Sherman Oaks.
Yeah.
Those cats don't play. And they run tight ships that are hard, and kids are scrambling to get to those schools.
Yeah.
So I don't agree with that at all.
Yeah.
I mean, those cats, they will pull you out of a game for a little mistake so you learn a lesson real fast. Their practices are hard.
Yeah.
They are on their butts every single moment of them, and they don't allow it. But their teams are always excellent.
Okay, now take that to the pro level. Now, who is that guy? Tibbs just got fired. He was the closest one. If you want to say poster child.
Go from high school to college. Rick Pitino.
Yeah, but they're not there long enough to even call that a stay.
Right, but they're going there. They're getting coached hard
for 6 months,
and then they move on to the next thing.
And Pitino ain't Pitino no more.
And Mike Malone didn't get fired for coaching hard. Mike Malone got fired because he didn't get along with the general manager, and it caused a rift.
But look, you cannot get along with the general manager, and I like everything else about you. We're gonna keep you. You also coaching hard. You also whatever else. Like the list, wasn't it the straw that broke the camel's back? It's one straw because there was all the rest of them straws on there already. This is the last straw, which is the GM beef. The other straws are whatever else everyone was saying. His point is cancel culture, whether you want to say high school, college, or even pro. Think about it. The MVPs come from the pro level. What coach coaches hard? Like we can see sometimes JJ Redick tried this year. Spoelstra. And his success is behind him.
It was Pop too until he got his
Pop.
health situation.
Yep.
Tibbs coach hard. I mean, he's
he fired.
Right, but look how many jobs he's had, and he's been. I mean, he was the Knicks for 5 years. He was with Minnesota for what, like 3 or 4. He was with Chicago.
Where's
for a
his
while.
MVPs? Like, if we're gonna keep this argument simple, who
But
is
having an
coaching
MVP
up?
is hard though. That's not an easy thing to have a MVP play. He's had. I mean, he has.
It was
MVP
easy for America.
level. Derrick Rose.
yeah, D Rose, yeah,
Okay.
That was his MVP.
Yeah. And when was that?
long time ago.
That's kind
But
of
it's
the
hard
point.
to have
And
MVPs.
it was
That ain't
cancel-
an easy thing to get.
Cancel
to have.
culture wasn't even a phrase, and when he got that,
I mean, Brunson was could have. He was in MVP category.
your shoulder's real high because he could have been, but he wasn't.
probably got
But he
votes.
was in MVP category.
No, we got to listen to it. Huh?
I think the thing is has basketball become too much of a privileged sport? Like because it's expensive to play AAU starting at a young age, and all throughout into high school. So what's happening?
It ain't the kids from the hood no more.
Not if you good.
That's facts.
Not if you good. They're paying for everything.
But that's true.
But you gotta get there.
But that's what I'm saying. Like I'm thinking, like maybe, for lack of a better term, we're like all the Europeans. They're hard nosed. They have that hood mentality. Get it out the mud type shit. Where our players have been pretty much pampered since 8 years old.
Yeah,
Until
Crocs and
18.
socks.
You know something we're not talking about, and Richie has brought this up in the past with your boy Luka. They start playing pro a lot
earlier. Yeah.
So I think that has something to do with it also. But I also think the whole European American thing is overrated, the whole topic. Because, there's a couple international MVPs, but it's still predominantly American MVPs that win it. And I think because you don't, as you said, I think the bar is not as high for them. So when you see one and they're really talented, it's just like, oh, wow. Like they just stand out more because you don't expect it.
Well,
It's like a white rapper.
Well, yeah. Well, it's also actually like immigrants. That's real. Like immigrants, the whole spirit of being an immigrant, people, because we see in this country, immigrants do well, right? And you look at it like the Japanese Americans are the top earners right now. And then Nigerians, like, you're like, damn. And then black people or people American-born Latino, you're like, damn, they passing us by. How they do that? And we supposed to be the same. Well, it's because the spirit of an immigrant is, it's hard over here, and I have to rise so high here to even get there, And then when they come here, it's like, dog, y'all playing like this. Y'all playing privilege. Y'all playing suspect. Like, it's a grind, and our grind is different because what we're seeing is the privilege. What we're seeing is a kid being told he's good so early, and that kid is not rounding out his game the same. So I think the European model would work here. The problem is America is not built like that. We're not going to send our 12-year-olds to no damn basketball game. And IMG is the closest thing we got to it. And there's one. Like IMG been out for 20-some years. If it was like everybody, they should be popping up. You know why? It's one. Because they're like, we ain't about to do all that. If MJ was amazing in something, I'm not sending him nowhere to do it. We're going to figure it out here, like Venus and Serena. Like, we're going to do it at the park.
Remember, I trained at Nick Bollettieri's tennis academy a lot. And Nick Bollettieri's was one of the first to do that model.
Yeah.
People moved to Bradenton, Florida to play tennis. I didn't get to move and live there, but and it produced champions.
Yeah.
So there's a method to it, and people came from all over the world to do that. Plus, we have to also remember we're not getting normal players from Europe. We're getting the best of the best from Europe. So,
but their best is outbesting our best.
Only
now.
a couple though. I mean, Luka. I mean,
but that's
yeah.
But that's what
Doncic has won it 3 times.
we can't take
Shea-
away what the reality is. Like if we in track, it's like, oh, only a couple of them fast. Yes, Usain Bolt. You know what I mean? Like the medal stand right now is Euro. It's outside of U.S. If it's not, it's like who's on the medal stand as a LeBron, Steph. I mean, we really being nostalgic. Like who's the top 3 players right now? Giannis, SGA, Jokic. Dog. Ain't no coinky dink. Like, and that's how all problems start. We're gonna talk about the transgender thing. Anything that starts with like, it's only them, it's only a couple, it's only a few, and you just, it's the boiling frog. You just keep ignoring it. Next thing you know, shit, dinner everywhere.
That's why next All-Star game, that USA versus the world is going to be a beast. It's going to be a beast. It's going to show us all we need to know. And what's scary is the 2028 Olympics being in LA. Like I don't know who's going to be on that squad. And whoever's on that squad, I don't even have confidence that we can win that thing on our home soil.
Right.
I don't know.
You don't see the people coming up. Is that what you're saying?
I don't see it.
3 years.
The vets now will be out the league at that point.
So who's young 3 years from now that could be?
There's a bunch of young ones.
I mean, Anthony Edwards, obviously.
Luka. Oh no, Luka.
No,
You're talking about Olympics, yeah.
Tatum.
You got Jalen Browns. You got
It's tough.
Jalen Green.
Brunson.
No
Ja
Jalen Green,
Morant.
please.
Man, he can ball.
Jalen Green can ball.
No, he can't.
Yeah, Jalen Green is nice.
Jalen Green is not nice.
But
Jalen
that ain't gonna win the Olympic
He got
gold.
Houston to the playoffs. He's nice.
Jalen Green's not even going to be on the Rockets next year, I don't think.
But we talking about 3 years from
They
now.
gonna get
He's
rid of
nice now. Imagine where he'll be in 3 years.
You must not have watched them in the playoffs.
I mean, I know he got them to the playoffs. That's a
a lot.
respectful thing.
All right, let's
I
get
think
up out
he
of
had
here.
one game over 12 points in all the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, he
He
definitely
was terrible.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Drea threw that
One of
thing
his
on
best
us. Here we go. All right, speaking of that thing, Joy Taylor.
Nice transition.
Yeah, right? She had a take, man, and it's retro, but I was like, damn, this is interesting. She was really chomping at the bit saying that Aaron Rodgers, unsigned, who just signed recently, should have been at OTAs because he knew he was going to be a quarterback for the Steelers, leader, everybody counting on him. What's your thoughts on unsigned Aaron Rodgers being obligated and he should have been at OTAs?
You're not obligated if you're not signed.
Dang.
And the Steelers decided to let him not be signed and be fine with it. So they were obviously fine with him not being at voluntary OTAs.
So
I don't think it can be any more clear than that.
So-
She's not participating in shit she's not signed for.
Ooh.
So why should he?
yeah, it's the culture. Sometimes culture is not properly described or not properly applied. Like some things are culture, and you're like, but this doesn't make sense. But that's what you're supposed to do. And in the NFL, one of the things that doesn't make sense is you go to something that's voluntary, but you better be there. And they always try to change it. No, it's the obligatory voluntary, or the optional mandatory. And there was a part of me that said, damn, is that working in any other facet of life? Is there parts where they're like, yeah, it is. Because if, your boss invites you to his house for, the picnic on the weekend.
Memorial Day.
And you like, and he's like, oh, no, it's not a company picnic. You guys could come by if you're free. It costs you if you don't go, don't it?
Yeah, but that's not work either.
And you signed at that job, right?
And you
that's
signed
a bad
at that
example.
job.
That's a bad example.
I mean, when that Aaron Rodgers interview cleared up a lot of stuff for me. Remember the one I said I liked him better after I saw it?
Yeah.
Because if they have a clear understanding of what he is and is not going to do, and they are in agreement with it, then it's okay.
Yeah.
And he made it perfectly clear that he told everybody, I'm dealing with personal stuff. I'm not signing right now. You can either stick with me or you can move on. Mm-hmm. And if they say they're fine and they're sticking with them, then that's a choice. That's a corporate choice.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't even have expected him to be there.
What do you think?
I think her opinion is just clickbait because I get the optics of, it looks good for the team for him to be there and show. But, again, he wasn't signed to them yet. Yeah. So why would you be at OTAs for a team that you're not even signed to yet? And then for him, one, he's a veteran, and a lot of veteran players don't go to OTAs.
Tom Brady.
And whatever he would have did there at the OTAs, he will be able to achieve the same thing when training camp starts.
Yeah.
So at his position, as long as he's been in the league, at his status, it's just overblown. And clearly the team probably doesn't care.
Right.
So I just think it was something she just needed to talk about.
And he's there now. When he needs to be, and it's mandatory. He signed on time. He reported on time. He's there.
It's interesting you say the clickbait stuff because when you say clickbait, do you think it's like you wake up, if you're Joy, and you're like, move, dude. I'm sorry. I'm so stupid. I got to clown the homie. That's a good one. Come on, that's a good one. Come on, yeah. Anybody hungry? Want some nachos? So you do all that, and then you're like, do you really like? Yo, this is gonna go. This is gonna go viral because I do know what she was picking up on, which is you can play this game in the NFL. Like of all sports, like this wouldn't have not been a story if it's a basketball player, unsigned basketball player at optional camp. Shut up. You know what I mean? Yeah. But if it's football, you kind of like. Yeah, what if they sold us about football that this is even believable as clickbait because it garnered attention because both sides argued it. Like there's another side saying this ain't so clear.
I'll tell you what they've sold us. They sold us that everything the NFL does is important. That's what they've sold us on. And from the draft to OTAs to voluntary OTAs to mandatory OTAs to training camp. They have sold us that every single thing the NFL does garners is worthy of our attention and is important. And it's bullshit. And you can start with the draft and work your way on down from there.
Damn.
You know why it's also clickbait? Because the season's over. The draft is passed. The players have already signed. It's not much to talk about with football right now.
Nothing.
So we gotta find something here to make a story about something. Because this was a story about nothing.
Nothing. And admittedly,
that's what
the sports world is boring right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
especially after this month is over.
Yeah.
Basketball's over.
What we gonna do?
Our intro's gonna be 4 hours.
Our intro is gonna be the show.
The intro gonna be the show, which it should be. Like it's the view.
Some people like
the
it
dude
like that.
view, whatever it is. I know for real. Like the thing is, I remember when I was playing, like you said, the NFL has sold and we have bought what they're selling. Because there was a time where the quarterbacks weren't even that. They weren't. Well, they weren't black either. Oh, you stupid! They weren't black. They weren't the leader like that. Like they were important. Then it became I think Joe Montana really, because he just ran off all them chips, and they were like, I think that position right there kind of matters because Before him, I just didn't hear it. And then after him, and then the baton pass to Steve Young, and then Aikman run off 3. That's what it was. It's like in 10 years, 2 dudes ran off 7. And you're like, them. You know what I mean? Because it's like Bird and Magic. You're like, those 2 teams, Celtics and Lakers, like it just takes it to another level. And then you looked around because it was a running back league. Like every kid growing up wanted to be a running back. That included in the pros too. Nobody wanted to be the quarterback. Like for what? And then it turned into be the quarterback. Then the money started to follow, and then the quarterback, most important leader, and he getting paid. Now it's like now your kid, he can run. And you're like, no, throw it. Like you want your kid to be a quarterback. And then when I'm in the league, it's like I got my first I got drafted, and they were like, all right, we're gonna send you your itinerary. And it's so dope. They were you emailing? Yeah, I think they email. They email you, and it's like, oh, I got to fly out Thursday. Like they got it all. You're like, damn, it's dope. You ain't got to go on what was back then, Orbits or some shit. Like,
what was it? Hot
Wire.
Hot Wire. Yeah, I ain't had to do that. I was like, damn, they did all this dope. And it's mandatory mini camp, and you get to meet all the legends, all of that. And then you go there, and then after that, they were like, you guys can do whatever you want. And we see you at training camp. That was my first year. Nothing else. I was like, what? Work out with yourself, get yourself right. Then the next year off season, it's like, yeah, we got, mandatory mini camp. Then we got these OTAs. I was like, what is optional training? What is it? Optional training. I don't even know that. Hey, I ain't go. I was like, damn.
Optional training asses.
Yeah.
Get your optional training asses in the gym.
I was like, I didn't go fully. I think I was there a little, but I was like, what's this? And then, though, I learned the next year. I went because I didn't go the year before, and they were looking at you kind of like, oh, yeah, really? And then that guilt. And next thing you know, they start moving that up. It wasn't just third-year players like me trying to get on the field. It was stars got to be there. And if Bruce Smith ain't going, he like, look, I play DN. Shut up. You know what I mean? But the quarterback better be there, or he going to lose some favor. So I think she was just trying to really pick up on that because she knew that from her brother, Jason Taylor. Obviously, he probably was like, I ain't going to that. But the quarterback, I bet Jay Fiedler was there. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I bet the quarterback was there. So it's weird how it morphs. I think the positions and everything that they do kind of change. All right, we got to get to this topic, y'all. Doug Christie. Oh, boy. Lawsuit against his ex, Jackie Christie. The stalker. that showed that the father of their child, which is now, 20? Dope. She ain't a kid no more. I think she's 20. Is not Doug Christie. It's Chris Webber. Dirty mom. The DNA test. Okay. Thoughts. Like, dog, you imagine if your kid at the 20 years, you find out you done raised this girl all the way through. And it's not only not yours, it's your boys. It's your teammates.
Boy.
What we doing here?
I think, well, first of all, I'll just say this. Doug should have nipped this in the bud back in the late 90s. Like, we saw him being a simp with that chick. Like, she couldn't, like, she was on the team flights. Yeah. She was everywhere he went, she was there. Ooh. And, like, so you order shit, you eat shit. So, I mean, and I feel bad for him. And he's handled this very, very well as far as, like, he hasn't been doing much talking on social media. He let all the lawyers do the work. And he's gained some sympathy from the public, and he's starting something about doing like paternity fraud, which is a big thing. Mm-hmm. It's a huge thing. So like he can spearhead that. But had he just not been in that position from the start, none of this shit would have happened.
But a simp is going to simp.
A simp.
You can't tell a simp to not be a simp. That's who they are.
Yeah, that's who I am.
That's why you got you gotta have homeboys.
But the simping didn't get him this.
Yeah,
no, think about it.
Why?
Okay, tell me why first.
The symptom. It was the symptom.
Because I think simping is like a personality.
Simping ain't easy. We thought
it's dangerous.
It's dangerous.
You can't do it.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. You're saying
a
like
gateway drug because like had he not been there,
nip it in the bud,
he wouldn't be here now. Because he tolerated a lot of shit there.
Yeah.
So she kept pushing the line.
So you saying because he was a simp, she decided to step all over him and go beyond crossing the line, which is your teammate. Like, but if you had been more strict, disciplined player, she wouldn't have done that. Because look, players have been cheap, huh?
He wouldn't have been with her. He would have recognized what it was and not even put himself in that position.
Oh yeah.
I feel any
good
female that
point.
is that overbearing and that controlling is, and even it could apply to guys too. Like she wanted to clock every move of his. She's always got to be attached to him, everything he's doing. Usually when somebody's like that, it's because they know they doing dirt.
They own it.
And they trying to cover themselves.
They're conscious, yeah.
And that goes in all walks of life and
Yeah.
every subject. The ones who are yelling the most about, taking away gay rights and drag queen this and that and the other, those are the ones who are actually pedophiles.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the ones who are actually closeted gay and have gay lovers. And, it's my first reaction to it, because I didn't even know about it until you sent that. My reaction was, now it makes perfect sense.
Yep.
She was fighting so hard for him not to do what she was doing.
Yep.
And that's what people do all the time. And that's what you look for. Who's yelling the loudest against somebody else? And you can almost bet that they are doing the same thing.
Yeah, it's wild because, I mean, everybody knows it was well documented and showed how she was just hounding that dude and being everywhere. And at first you were like, this is weird. And then at second, you were like, this is hella weird. And then you were like, I can't believe he's allowing it, so maybe there's something good in it, and then you're just leaving it alone. Like, I saw him at events, I would say hi and, all that little casual stuff. He's a cool dude, and she was just there, and she was nice enough. And I was like, whatever. And now, the key was always in the lock. Now we just turned it and opened the door and like, this is what you've been hiding, right? Yeah. And so I remember the old saying, you're only as trusting as you're trustworthy, right? So I remember that because after getting into relationships, I was like, dog, am I sabotaging these relationships at times? Because I knew I was out. I was like, I'm only trusting as I'm trustworthy. And even as a married man now, it's so crazy. My wife, when you first meet somebody, I don't know if y'all used to do this. I do this. I'm like, all right, who you know that I know? Just let me know. And I got to know because I'm going to see him. And I don't want his chin up high. Like, what's up, Wiley? Like, let me just know so I can have my chin up high, too. Say, I know. It's okay. She mine now. Like, one of those.
Like, I heard y'all doing all right over there.
Yeah. I was like, let me know. And so, y'all good over there, Wiley?
You're having dinner on me.
Oh, not this. Not to fillet me. He ain't going to fillet me. But I used to do that, right? Because the girls used to be like, all right, I want to know too. And I was like, how much time you got? I know people. So I did all that because now I look back, it was like, because I knew I was a mess. So I'm like, what messes you done made? And it was more me projecting versus not projecting. And our ills, our poison, that whatever the problem we have is what we going to always spill out. And I think that's what we just caught right here. Like, she probably got on that plane, Lord knows, on a road trip and got some sneak love in. You imagine that? Like, you with Weber.
How that happened, though.
If she was on the team. Wait.
Because that in the same instance, she's always on him, always surrounding him. So at what point was she able to get away from him to do that with Weber? Because if it was like a team thing, I don't assume that Weber would be away also. Like, you know what I'm saying? If him and Christie on the same team. Or this may have been a little bit after they team.
I mean, I don't know the details, but if it's a road trip, I can tell you how it is. We all on the same team. Good. All right, so we land 5 o'clock, okay? And then we play tomorrow. So it's 5 p.m. What y'all doing? We going to get some meat? We going to get some meat? All right. So me and Jackie, we go upstairs. We in the same room. I assume they married. They may make her stay in a different room because I don't give a damn who you are. Only players only. Sometimes that's the real. No, actually, that is the real. So she got her own room. I got my own room. All right. We gonna get there. Baby, you good? Yeah, I'm good. Okay. 8 o'clock, dinner downstairs. 5:01. 5:02. You got time, dog. Dog, we used to sneak everywhere.
And Marcellus was done by 5:03.
Oh, yeah, I was about to say, yeah.
No, let me be clear. I know how.
Okay.
I know how it
Men
happens.
have penises.
Right, yeah.
Women.
I know you can sneak off and do it. I'm saying the way she moved specifically, where she was always so glued to him, if she's sneaking off doing something, then that means he's free and he could be doing what he want.
Yeah.
The way
That ain't
she
the
acts-
lawsuit though, but I get it.
But you know,
But I'm saying the
Yeah.
way
But
she
you-
acts, she wouldn't let him
even breathe.
You know
Right.
what? You know what comes with that though. She's getting ready to go out. He says, "Where you going?" She said, "Why you need to know where I'm going? What you doing?"
Oh man,
He
she
probably
do
don't
that.
even
What you
ask.
doing?
That boomerang guilt.
Right?
He don't ask.
I'm sure
He's
she's
simping. He ain't
boomeranging
asking.
all of that stuff.
Damn.
Making him. Why are you asking me? What you doing? Why you need to?
That's
You know
that
what I
guilt.
mean?
I used to do that.
That's
I
that
used to
guilt.
get into an argument, and I caught it in coincidence. I didn't even know I was doing it. I used to get in an argument right when I was gonna go out, and I knew I was gonna go out, and I didn't want the key. You know what I mean? Like, baby, I'll see you later, right? I used to be like, dog, and then you'd be like, you just gonna be chilling all night? Like, you'd be like, she's like, yeah, you leaving? What the hell you care about?
Right.
Okay,
Right.
Like, damn, I'm starting these arguments for real.
You know, a lot of stuff comes. That's like people.
My college girlfriend caught me out on that.
People would start arguments around holidays because they didn't want to
the
buy
gift.
presents.
Yes.
and have to do all of that.
Oh, boy.
that was
me in the 2000s. Listen,
so.
we
You
got
know,
this.
you know, all kind of
Christmas?
stuff came with that. And if he falls for the first part, he's gonna fall for the second part.
Yeah, I think we got to check if we want to figure out how he did it or when they did it. Yeah, check that injury report. Like when was Chris out?
Because when did they
During
stop
the
playing?
game
I'm
getting
trying-
treatment.
I'm trying to remember when they stopped playing. Obviously, they was
you
on the Kings in 05. I think they were still together
Yeah, I
then
think
because
that-
that was still that Lakers Sacramento era.
Yeah.
I think
Where
Webb
they
got
going
traded
against-
to the Sixers around that time, around 05.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Because if the kid is 20, that means this happened in
Yeah.
05 or late 04.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, check that injury report.
But man, that was
Chris Webber.
That's some shocking shit. I was
boy.
like,
You're a dirty boy, Webber.
oh,
Webber is a dirty boy.
Man.
That is, dog, I'm not, nah.
and poor daughter.
Yeah, poor daughter. Oh, her response was
man.
horrible. Her response
Oh, I didn't
was-
even see it.
Yeah, she was just like, I mean, she said it poetically. She was basically like, look, I only have one father I'm connected to, and it's Doug. Even though physically I may be somebody else's,
It
like
was
my
Mr.
son.
Christie.
They only got. She has only one daughter, right? Because I remember she had a beef with one of her daughter for a long time.
Oh, really?
Is this the same kid?
Man, I
Like-
never followed. I didn't even know they did a reality show. I was just
She was
lost.
on Basketball Wives.
Yeah, I never did it. I never watched it. I can't do ratchet. Like, I can't do intentional ratchet TV. I ain't watch my wife on Housewives.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I ain't watched that.
Oh,
No. I like, you can do it. Like, first of all, every show I've ever worked on, I never watched it. Like, one, I was doing it, but two, when it come on, I'm like, oh, flick. Like, I'm not built like that. And two, I hate ratchet. Like, I hate ratchet. This civil war between blacks and Negroes, like, or with ninjas, you know, going on right now. Man, I hate ignorance. I hate, like, girl, what you do? So I was like, So I've never seen Basketball Wives because I assume I had a girlfriend that was on Wags once, and that didn't go well.
That was an interesting show.
Wags?
They had some things on there.
Yeah.
Out of all
They got
these,
things on the ground.
Nah,
I gotta
but-
watch
yeah,
that.
and they was on Wags.
were they wearing blue TSA pants?
Oh, nah. This is a different breed. Those are TSAs around the way things. Those are elite.
Yeah.
They were the elite Wags?
Yeah, they
But most of them
fire.
start out as around the way things.
I know.
That's
I just
true.
know so many dudes, and they girls were on there. No.
You got nothing tongue ties you.
I'm like, none of them was that fine. Like they fine, but I don't know. I don't like fine. I don't like glossy.
Yeah, we could go over some names. There's a couple on there that was fire.
Really? All right, help me out. I didn't
it's-
watch it,
it's-
so
it's
I'm
still
ignorant.
fire.
I'm ignorant.
I don't think I ever saw it.
I think it was only on for like a year or so. A year
Damn,
or two.
that's
it
it?
wasn't that long. Yeah.
What does WAG stand for? What does that stand for?
Wives and girlfriends.
Oh.
Didn't Shaq's ex
She started basketball.
Wives? Okay, yep. There was a moment where we were in the club a lot at the same time, and it felt so weird because I was like, damn, this is. But she's already divorced to Shaq. I was like, this is Shawnee. Like, because, you know, growing up in L.A., like, Shaq and Shawnee was like a power couple, right? And then it wasn't even a club. Let me
And
stop.
then you was Baby Shaq.
You know,
Shaq until Shaq shows
she's
up.
like, look, what's smaller than a shack? A hut? She was like, hut?
A sale.
A shed.
A shell. Like, oh, look at you with your little funny money.
Marcellus.
Your funny life. My ex is Shaquille, and you are Hut. What do you call me? A sale? He got this much. You got this much. He this big. You this big.
Like, oh, he's so
But
cute.
he ain't here now.
But no, it was Sayers.
Shaq ain't
Remember?
there.
Yeah.
She was at Sayers all the time.
Man, Sayers had the heat.
I know. I remember seeing. I was like, "That's Shawnee," and then I was like, "That's Shawnee." And then it was like, "Oh, what's up, Shawnee?" I was like, "Damn, kind of cool." Like at the ball. No, I never.
I be thinking a lot of them NBA wives is outside.
A lot of the NBA ex-wives are outside. My boy
Oh,
dating
the ex-wives
one.
for sure. But
Boy
I'm talking
dating
about
one.
the active wives, I believe, be outside too. The guys is always out. They always on the road. They got
Why you
tons of
putting
money
that
to
out in
play
the
with.
air? You don't know this.
It's the same way how they say all athletes cheat. I mean, it's not like this is common knowledge. I mean,
All
this-
athletes don't
the people.
cheat.
No, I'm not saying they do.
Oh, okay.
But I'm saying the perception is out there. That
I don't know.
all
I think
athletes
the
cheat.
athletes cheat way more than the wives.
Probably.
Definitely.
They have more access.
Not even that. Nah, if you gone for 3 days or 3 weeks, I got access too. The
Right,
thing
but
is,
their access is a lot more local, or they would have to take a chance and try to get a guy to come to them. With players, you're on the road. Everywhere you go, there's women just waiting.
well,
there's
I know
way more
there's-
access
You
to
don't gotta go on the road from them to wait. They right down the street. Here's the thing. Why I say it. Why I know most wives don't cheat is because they don't want to mess up this
Risk over reward.
Dog, dudes cheat because they're like, well then, all right, you stop right here on my $180 million contract. You only get 90, and then I'm gonna get signed another one. You know, but like the dudes are really like, whatever.
Or you know what it is.
What?
That-
Yeah, you know what it
I'm saying?
is. Yeah, the girls be like they be having brunches all the time, trying to stay together. They be like,
Girl, don't do it.
Girl, don't do it. I know it's tempting. I know it's not worth that little guy, that little hut.
Or they have brunches on how they keep it.
How they keep it
quiet.
tight. Look, I could be ignorant, but I'm not. I just think they know. Dog, they living in mansions, ain't got one tackle, no sacks, no points.
You know about the pool boy.
They got sacks.
The pool boy, yeah.
pool boy.
Yeah,
come
Brady-
in.
Brady-
Shit,
Or the trainer.
Oh, yeah, Brady.
The trainer is the new pool boy.
Yeah, the trainer is the new pool boy. As he should be.
Hey,
Yeah.
What is he doing with her? He be like,
And
yeah,
the
you
old
need to-
boy,
look at who Giselle just had a baby
I
with.
know. That's what I'm saying. Brady. But I mean, they.
That's how Puff lost
jiu-jitsu.
Cassie. Cassie went to the trainer. Yeah. That's how it goes. He thinking about it.
Was Brady married?
Huh?
Brady was married.
Yeah,
Yeah, to
Tom
Giselle.
Brady.
She cheated on him. No,
Well, he was
He was done.
He was the dick in the
Te-
glass.
Technically, that kid popped up real quick after that. divorce.
Yeah, but the other one. What's your other one? You just say it.
Puff
It
and
wasn't just.
Cassie.
They weren't married. That don't even count. Don't
I
count.
know.
none
I'm
of
just
that.
talking about
Yeah.
relationships,
Oh,
not,
okay.
not specific to.
But she
marriage.
clearly had the jiu-jitsu dude in the glass and broke the glass
Yeah,
in case
yeah.
of
Hell yeah.
emergency.
He
Because
was
it was
touching
it was
little bit.
immediately after.
He said touching that a little
He was
bit.
touching a little.
Yeah, right.
He sending smoke signals.
Be like whenever you want.
It's here.
I know, dog. I seen massage therapists. Like we had one that used to come to the house. He gigantic. He like Shrek.
He or she?
He. And he be rubbing Anna Marie. I go in there and be like, "Hey, baby, you good?" She be like, "Yeah, I'm good."
Yeah. yeah.
That she,
I bet she is.
that she be low.
It's all right.
I could not be a massage therapist. I'm like, oh, y'all know what it is.
Poking in the head.
I am flirting. I'm like, all right, look, all right, ma'am, you have to sign in. She's like, oh, okay, it's okay. I was like, see, what am I signing? That basically I'm about to flirt.
It's NDA. Signing that NDA.
Yeah, come on.
Listen, I used to teach tennis to some rich and powerful people, and invariably, at some point, some wife was gonna hit on you.
Yeah,
Period.
I'm saying.
yeah,
And you had to make that decision.
yeah.
You know, whether this is a good thing or not a good thing.
That part.
And you had to have enough vision to know that eventually it wouldn't be a good thing.
That's the thing. You know how this is gonna end. Not well.
Not well.
Not well.
Right.
Yeah, because I mean, the physical part that even wanes. But
Sure. I
No.
mean, I saw people bite on it. I was smart enough,
sure
even
you
young,
did.
that I didn't. But
nibbly.
the ones who
Love.
took the bait,
He's like, love. Love. He was like, no, I got 15. Love.
Ace.
Oh, let's talk about it. We just brought up Cassie. Let's bring up Cassie in a different way. Because Bill Maher went there. Boy, did he go there on the Diddy trial and Cassie. He just wanted to bring the question, her level of accountability, her agency as a woman. And I think a lot of times we see agency switch and it's never equal, whether it's a man and woman when they talking about spousal, divorce court, child support, situations like this and sexual misconduct. It's never like we treating y'all like equals. It's always one side or the other. Well, Cassie has gained a lot of sympathy because obviously we saw that video and that's horrible. And she brought up, and she's part of this case. But then Bill Maher was like, yeah, okay, we got new rules. If you guys ever watch Bill Maher, that's his segment, new rules. And one of them is like, look, if you're going to say somebody, you me too, you don't say in any text or form, me too, I'm down for the shit. I'm down for the game. And I just wanted to know what you guys' thoughts were seeing that clip, and more importantly, Cassie's level of culpability in this situation. Let's go to Sneaky. Look at Sneaky, don't want it.
I know
Sneaky
you don't want it.
I was trying to pass that, so I was trying to throw that alley-oop from here with nobody catching it.
Nope. Okay.
Hey man, I think Diddy did a lot of dirt, but I don't let her slide because she knew what she was signing up for, and I think she wanted, and I'm not talking about the violence part, but I'm talking about she wanted the lifestyle. She had opportunities to leave it if she really wanted to.
Yeah.
But and even in those situations where he's doing something dirty to her, to something foul, they always say this, you know, with therapists, that people come back to people that hurt them and all of that. But the reality is, in my opinion, I think is he's giving you a certain lifestyle. You enjoy that lifestyle. You gotta, you know, in your head, I'm dealing with this, but all of this other amazing thing, all these other amazing things come with it. And I'm gonna take the good with the bad.
Yeah.
And she even said it when she did a testimony where she said she would get jealous when she saw, like, even after they were apart, she got jealous when she saw him treating other women really good. And she didn't want, she continued to do some of the things she was doing when they were together because she didn't want another woman to come in and get that same love, that same treatment. So it's like, you are a whole adult. You knew what you were doing. You signed up for it. You enjoyed all the benefits. Don't play victim now. Yeah,
that's the world I live in too. And let me just pay my respects to all those I will offend. I know that world of response of like, but you don't know what a victim is going through or mental issues or the violence. I know. I don't know that to your extent, and you don't know what I'm about to say probably to this extent, which is even in healthy relationships, it's a give and take. It's a good and bad. It's like there's no perfect person, so there's no perfect situation, a perfect relationship. But what keeps you faithful, what keeps you committed, what keeps you into anything is simple. The good outweighs the bad, right? And I mean, by far, in terms of my marriage and relationships that people may have out there. So when I looked at Cassie, when I first heard it all, the first test for me is always how long it lasts. And when I hear how long it lasted, I'm like, you know what I mean? Exit ramps you pass by. And like, you can say what you want. Oh, well, fear of this and fear of that. Well, being real, when did the fear ever go away? You did it sooner or later. Well, she mustered up the courage. Or the bad started to outweigh the good. Or you started to figure out how you could flip the bad to make it all good. And we all know her trying to shop the book, and he didn't bite on that, and her having to go move back to mom's with the husband and all that. And then you looking like, I know it. There's a golden ticket out there. It's in my back pocket. All I got to do is just reconfigure these events. And then mysteriously that tape comes out, and we already know the lawsuit, and she got her money the day after, blah, blah, blah. The culpability part is tough because I'm raising 3 women, and I'm married to 1. So 4 out of the 6 people I'm always around, including myself, are women. And I'm like, I do not want to hear of endured pain Like, I was dealing with it, Daddy. I was trying. I want you to use those exit ramps, and we gonna handle it there. Easier said than done, I'm assuming. But at the same time, we can't let her off the hook because ain't no way one day all this bad happening, then the next day you booking the yacht to get the freak off. And I know that yacht with the freak off kept you there. Right. You can't tell me otherwise.
It's hard for me to pass judgment on her. The power dynamics are so deep.
Let's hear.
You know what I mean? There's so many layers to it. There's financial layer, there's a love layer, there's a victim layer, there's like a Stockholm syndrome kind of layer. All of that is together. So, and I don't know enough about them theoretically, you know, what causes people to stay when they should be gone and things like that. It's social. It's something for therapists to unwind, and I don't know what those reasons are, but I hate to blame her. Because
but who do you blame? Her or him or them?
We didn't blame her.
Yeah. And blame maybe not the word.
Yeah, you just said she was aware of what she's doing.
Yeah, she's some kind of accountability. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there.
I think it's I mean, we see it so much that there's something that keeps people in bad relationships. There's something that kept Doug Christie in there with Jackie.
Yeah.
Something that keeps battered wives with their husbands.
He's blind to his keeping. He's blindly in love. She's wide awake, open-eyed in hell. And it had to be some heaven to keep you there because I don't like when people say the power dynamics because they say they start with the money like you did. And I'm like, nobody told you to like this dude. Like, would you like Puffy if he wasn't rich? Oh, okay, but now he rich. You got to use that against him. I'm like, well, you knew, hello, that's Puffy. Like I don't know how that becomes leverage for her when he's been rich and you got with him partly because he was rich. I don't get that.
Also, you say you don't know why some people stay around, and I'm not saying this is her, but it could be because of reports. Sometimes they don't leave situations that are violent like that because sometimes women are aware that they're causing it. Like, I've seen that situation where it's the woman who's always hitting or initiating contact, hitting the dude, but when he hits her back, that's what everybody responds and sees. Now, I'm not saying it's right, but she knows deep down, I started this. But the guy is always going to be the one that catches the blame because it's like, oh, you're supposed to just let her do that. Yeah. Don't touch her. So, I'm not talking about them, but I've seen situations where the guy gets all the smoke and gets in trouble for him reacting to something that was done to him.
Yeah,
if she knows she's causing arguments or she knows some of this stuff is on her, maybe that's why she stays around.
It's a lot of that. I just think the entanglement is not even this particular case. I just wish there were a world where we would just call BS. Like there's a level of BS in this conversation about what's going on in this trial that's not getting called fully. Like, come on, man. Like, I mean, maybe the judge when he goes or she goes home and it's like, come on now. They think I ain't met the person yet that is literally in this dynamic and none of it they were culpable for or any of it.
But I think this one has an element that might even be a little deeper.
Let's go.
Because we see what has happened when she did try to date other people.
He blew up the car.
He blew up Kid Cudi's car.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe there was some real fear of retribution and what he would do to him.
Yeah.
I mean, he has exhibited some crazy behavior. I mean, at L.A. Reid's wedding in Capri, he knocked a dude over the head with a bottle.
Yeah, that's real.
You know what I mean? So this stuff, and there were reports.
I retract everything.
I don't know if they were true or not, but people in the industry used to say he used to beat up his mom.
I heard that.
You know what I mean? And this was way back. I was in the music industry a long time ago.
That.
Yeah.
But that was what people talked about back then.
He talked to her crazy too.
Yes. And reports that he was beating on Mary J. So maybe there's some real fear there in addition to it.
Okay, let's talk from there because I do like that point because usually you don't hear this conversation. Your loved one that's a woman, what's your counsel to her? She's stuck between a rock and a hard place. She is in a relationship. Who cares how she got there? She dated the rich guy. She dated the bad guy. Whatever. It's Puffy or some other dude. It's this other dude down the street. And she's scared. And I hear this. I hear one side always says, that's why they stay, because they're so scared to leave because they know the retribution. But then you're sitting there from the outside like, but if you stay, you know the result. Like, you know, the violence doesn't stop. The victims just change. You know what I mean? So what would you counsel someone in that position to do? You call the police, you're scared, the police ain't gonna do nothing. You tell your big brother or something, like what do you do?
I don't know what the proper thing, theoretically would be, but my thing would be
What are you telling your daughter?
get here to me where I can protect you as much as I possibly can, and we'll figure everything out day by day, and we'll make this right.
Yeah.
But get out of that situation. Get over here where you're safe and sound.
Yeah.
Nobody's getting through my front door.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
I would say something similar, but opposite. Like a little different. Like if it was my daughter, I'm gonna say, hey, you come stay over here and then invite him over. Let him in the house. Because
Like a
now whatever
vampire.
I do is gonna be self-defense. You hitting on my daughter.
Right.
And now we gotta talk. What we doing? We talking
We ain't
first?
talking about nothing.
So you don't even want to hear his side?
No.
What if you remember you're the same guy who said
true,
your
but-
daughter, the woman could be making it up
That's
or starting to instigating it.
I would hope, based on my and I know females be lying, they do it. But I would hope.
Dudes too.
Yeah, I know they do. But I'm talking about in regards to provoking situation and act like they ain't do nothing. Accountability. It's like,
Oh, I've been hit.
I don't know why you acting like that. I would hope the relationship that I have with her, she would be open enough to tell me, like, hey, I did this and this is why he did that, or I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
And he's just like, I would have that conversation with her first.
I would-
and then gauge and see, do I believe this?
Yeah.
Or and you know your kid, you know their character to an extent. I mean, obviously they get older and they change.
They all lie.
Yeah,
Because I
but
lied.
I
Like
would
we
think-
all liars. Like shut the shit. So we got to be real. I would never, ever say, let him come in and then not give him. Now, first of all, I'm patting this motherfucker down. He coming in here ready. I'm going to give him his due because I've been that guy before, falsely accused. I've been also with a woman who I knew was lying her ass off and just like, you really trying to pass that by. But more importantly, no matter if she's telling the truth, it's like watching film. You thought you did all of this, and then coach be like, all right, let me show you what you did for real. And you're like, I took that false step. MJ back there when I was telling him stop jumping on free throws. I'm not jumping. He started yelling at me. I was like, Lil Man, watch. Oh. I was like, sometimes you just don't have the self-awareness. It's just three sides to every story. Even if it's your daughter. I had to press my daughter in a jacuzzi 4 or 5 years ago. She was telling some story. I was like, that don't make sense. That turned into, that really don't make sense. What's the real? And then I got a different version. I was like, okay. So imagine if the dude here, he like, sir, all due respect, nice cornrows, nice watch.
Be gone by then. But I wasn't basing it off assumptions. I'm thinking,
No,
like,
I know.
Like I'm thinking about the Cassie situation. She's got like
She got that black eye,
My
yeah.
daughter walking out with a black eye.
Yeah.
It's like,
It's Rizap.
Yeah,
it's
it's a
like I'm
different
telling
conversation.
Dr. Pat and Big U, move over. Come on, man. I'm in that set.
Flip that pillow for me.
and her father is around and in her life. So I wonder why didn't he get more involved in that? Because it seemed like he was.
Who, Cassie's dad?
Yeah.
Man,
He probably didn't know.
my ghetto.
No, he knew this. Like if you listen to the trial,
Yeah.
Like she was going to them. She was telling them one time they wired him money because Puff threatened them. And they wired him like $30,000 or something like that. So the parents knew what was going on.
Yeah, I was about to say.
So imagine being with somebody who is so psychotic that they are threatening your parents.
Or he's giving them
Oh,
so much money that they enjoying the lifestyle.
That's
It's
what I'm
like-
saying. My ghetto assumption is I've seen families pay it off. I mean, you've seen families turn the a blind eye to petty stuff,
R.
big
Kelly.
stuff. Yeah, because dog, they know how long they've been working and how much they got. And they're like, this dude about to wire more than I've ever seen in a year, or it takes me 6 months, and he gonna keep on giving. And I like lifestyle, that ain't even a dollar amount. It's just like, you made my life easier. Cass be like really tripping.
I mean, I think that's all. I mean, it's some psychological abuse, and I think that's what, touching what you were saying earlier. That I think that's what Christie was a part of, and I think that's what Cassie might be going through too. And like people like allegedly how Puffy did her. People like that prey on people like her. Easy marks. People, you try one thing, you get away with it, you keep going and you keep going. They get off on that kind of shit. So I think that can. She has to be. I mean, there's some things she has to be held accountable for a little bit, but like once that psychological chain has been wrapped around you, I mean, that's tough to break. Real tough to break.
And we see it even with the Shannon Sharp thing. You may say yes to some things, but you're not trying to say yes to this.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you're not expecting it to go and snowball and build up to all of this. Right. You know what I mean? It wasn't one day where kissy face, lovey-dovey, and then freak off the next day. That was I'm sure it was a slow roll into it, and there were a lot of things that were allowed along the way, and then they build up into that.
I don't know about that. Like, I would say, first of all, I heard the word pray, and this is tough because from hello, she fine. From hello, he puffy. Whatever that is, it's a lot. Like, there's been many moments in my life, I'm like, dog, Puffy out here winning. Like, you know, them 90s, I was like, everything he was touched, he had the Midas touch. I was like, Puffy is killing it. Forget I didn't know all those stories and, you know, behind the scenes. I just was like, Puffy killing it. So that's how they meet. Like, just keep it simple, you know, Occam's razor. She fine and he Diddy. So ain't nobody praying on anything. She using her beauty because he's shooting 1,000 shots probably, and the ones that go in, he still gets dissed. Like, there are girls who like, nah, Puffy tried to holler at me. I've heard people say that, so I know it's real. Puffy, I ain't dealing with that. How many times you ever heard a girl say, I ain't dating no athlete? Some of them mean it. They be like, I've been dissed. I was like, girl, I mean, like, hey, how you doing? Oh, you play football. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And like, they meant like, don't talk to me no more because it's your occupation. I was like, wow. So that's hello. Then it turned into, okay, well, I'm going to date him. And she's dating him. He's dating her. That's when the levels change because he ain't praying on her. From the hello, if you look at Cassie, you don't know she weak, strong, blah, blah, blah. You just know that's. And then you hear 5 seconds into it, you're like, oh, she accepting this. So how much is he taking from her and how much is she accepting? Because the other girl who looked good like her said, move, Puffy. I ain't accepting that. He tried to prey on her. Why didn't she fall prey for it? Different makeup, right? Different mental makeup.
Right. I mean, what you're describing is what a pimp does.
Shoot, and then wait.
Shoot, and wait and see who
bites.
Who
takes it.
Wait,
I hit.
You wait and see which gazelle can't run so fast.
Yeah.
Or doesn't feel like running that day.
Yeah.
And then you pounce. So it is praying.
Is that?
Sure.
So what is dating?
You're looking for
Puffy's
weak.
Tuesday. Like, that's a Tuesday for Puff. He gonna get fined. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, oh, I can get fined and I can push these buttons. I'm gonna keep pushing these buttons. And he found one that was like the perfect match for him, where he can get away with all his shit and she fine. You know what I mean? So
okay, there we go again. All right, I'm walking with y'all. Trust me. I'm just trying to keep the conversation a little rounder. And I get away with this. Get away with what? Something that she wants to do too? Something that she's saying she'll do too? Now, I'm not talking about the violence. I'm talking about the fun, the freak off.
You get away with the first thing, and then you get away.
But why is it we're getting away if you're participating? This is what happens to little kids.
Because you know sometimes you will push a button or do something to see if you can do it.
What is that though? Girls have never suggested to you, let's get a threesome. Yes. So who is now she getting away with something on me? See, this is where I'm not lying. We are so deeply psychologically slanted in certain conversations. So like you've been with girls who have suggested to you and you have been turned off. To me, nothing makes me like more turned off is when a woman acts like a dude. Like, she the one only talking about sex. She the one only want to go there. Call me when you back in town. I'm like, I'm not calling you back. Like, you treat me like.
You sound like Trip right now.
But yeah, but that's a turn off. Yeah, well, look, that's after.
Because
but isn't that
Tiffany Cambridge was doing that.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
It wouldn't be turning you off.
Pull the mic. Cut the mic. But that's my point. It's like we're literally taking assumptions. Like Puffy led her somewhere because Puffy had been there before with somebody else. But we're not making the same assumption that maybe she been there with somebody else. He just didn't have notoriety or profile. Because I just been around. It's hard to make somebody do something they don't want to do. Right? Like go.
That's not true.
Go.
That's not true.
Maybe they hit it well that they wanted to do it and they just played the game.
I agree with you for the most part, what you're saying.
Okay.
I'm just that particular line, because we just touched on that.
What?
When you said as much as you teach your daughter, you can raise them the right way, but it just takes that one guy that she likes enough
To say the right thing.
Say the right thing, and
then
all that goes out the window.
No. What goes out the window? Nothing. The guards are down now. Oh, the real person is going to be on full display. Like the alcohol takes you to places or whatever vice that gets you there. When you at the Roots picnic and you're dancing like you're 9 years old again. Like all of that is just guards down. What do they call it? Your inhibitions.
That's what I'm saying. So you're making them
talk
them into doing something that
what?
They didn't initially want to do.
That they normally don't do because they normally guard it. But that don't mean that ain't who I am.
Except for that line. I agree with you, though.
I'm not even trying to argue that. I'm just trying to say, like, dog, ain't nobody forcing, and here I go. I am a big black football player. Ain't nobody forcing me to do nothing psychologically.
Right.
I've unveiled things at different stages. You know things about me that you don't know. But none of y'all made me go there psychologically. Now, with brute force, you got me. But when these psych wars, I really showed you what I really wanted you to see.
You are an intelligent guy, and you know how to talk. Remember, we talked about this yesterday.
Yes.
When you're like that, and anybody who's like that, which I think we all right here are, when you're like that, you are aware enough that you can talk people into doing things, because everybody is not mentally on that same level. Some people are very easy to finesse, convince. Whatever you're trying to do, you can talk somebody. There are people that you can just talk them into. Exactly, you can just talk them into doing it, whether they wanted to or thought about it or against it. It doesn't matter. You are mentally strong enough to overpower whatever thoughts they have just with words.
I think
that happens all the time.
I think that is accurate as it gets. However, we're not giving them enough credit if we're saying basically they're slow because I'm fast. No, they're fast too. I'm just faster. Remember that time you made one of your best jokes? It was like, the bear in the woods, you just got to outrun your boy.
Yeah.
You ain't got to be fast. You just got to outrun your boy.
Yep.
Like for real.
You don't have to be faster than the bear. Just faster than your friend.
Yeah, just be faster than your friend. And I swear we be acting like sometimes, and a lot of times it's the women, we be acting like, oh, poor damsel in distress. She was just living her perfect, pretty life. And then you came through with game, and she was so weak. And next thing you know, you talked her into stuff she would never do. Yeah. And I'm like, really? It's pandering. Like, really? Do y'all know the same people I know these girls? Like, who you think dudes mess with? Let's start here, basic. Who do dudes mess with if they're heterosexual? Girls. Okay. Now, how many times have we all said, damn, man, you just said it. Man, when them athletes gone, I don't know what them wives are doing, them girls are doing. Girls will tell you they hornier than dudes. That's what they'll tell you. I don't know if it's facts, but what do you think? Like, we taking advantage of what? Like, it's somebody who wants what you got. I'm buying what you selling because you selling what I'm buying.
Yeah, but things can get out of control, too.
Oh, I know that.
I mean, things can start one way and end a whole nother way.
That part. That's called exes. All my exes.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I get that, and you're right about that. And they may have volunteered for something, but ended up in something completely different.
Good point.
And by then, it's kind of hard to unravel it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Shit, she should have, when I saw that he had signed her to a 10-album deal, Cassie wasn't even the kind of artist that you signed to a 10
Where you get
album
10
deal.
from? Like, where's she gonna get 10? I know.
Yeah,
where
right.
you getting 10 albums from?
Right. I mean,
ain't
it's
got
hard
10
enough to get
songs.
one out of her.
And when
Right.
when she signed that, they were already messing with each other.
Yeah.
So again, she knew she wasn't
She
getting
knew.
10 albums, but she was signing up for the lifestyle, which is why I'm saying like you knew exactly what you were getting yourself.
But that doesn't mean that she knew she was going to be signing up to be screwing
A sex slave or something.
yeah,
Right.
male prostitutes.
But once it
day
started,
after day
you had the
after day after
opportunity.
day.
And then
You know what
look,
I mean?
there is a tough time for her. She signed it. Like, she signed it like, girl, I signed this 10 album deal with Puffy. And your girl was like, girl, what? That's major. And then your other girl's like, what's it going to cost you? Like, you ain't even got a demo yet. Like, how you got 10 albums?
Right.
And then the first time he like, yeah, we about to do this. This about to be a freak off. You with it? She's like, I don't know about it. I'm nervous.
And
The
you're-
album start talking to you,
and
right?
You're signed. You
Lifestyle.
Can't leave. You're under contract.
Yeah.
The
That's
courts-
how you manipulate.
You know what I mean? That's how the
But
manipulation.
the
And she-
manipulation is not on Puffy. It's on the thing that she wants that Puffy has. You get the difference? He just dangled, you ain't going to be rich. You ain't going to be famous. And to me, it's like, I hope my daughters do this. Oh, well, motherfucker. So what? I'll be broke, I'll be poor, I'll be me. I ain't going to be that just to be that because that comes at a cost. Like that moment right there, as much as we talking, is not Puffy. He like, it. I got it for you, and you want it so bad, you're going to go there, and then it's going to be on me. But all I'm showing you is it, and he ain't the only rich person out there.
And that's why I said she's got to be accountable too,
Yeah.
because she knew exactly what she was signing up for at any moment where.
But she didn't know exactly what she was.
What I'm saying is
she
at
knew she
the-
was signing up for something.
Right, but the moment that something happened that she didn't like, did she leave? The
Obviously
first
not.
time it happened,
Obviously
you
not.
could have said, "I'm not doing this. I'm out."
Yeah.
You did it. Then you did it again.
They say
and again.
the violence doesn't change, the victims do. So it's like you ever girls that go to pool parties? This is my funny. I always crack up, especially our sisters. They be there. Don't splash. Like you ever see girls? I'm like,
You at the pool party.
you at a
Don't
pool
get my hair
party.
wet.
Water gets wet. What are you doing, ma'am? Like, and it's almost like as soon as he suggests that, and this is a reason I talk about this, and I understand this is very sensitive, and some people are gonna hate and be mad at what I'm saying.
You'll be all right.
I hope they are, because I'm really trying to make sure we educate, especially the women or whoever is the prey in this one. You have warning signs. You have a moment of, yo, this motherfucker spazzed out. That moment there is your moment. Like, get out. And if you don't get out, you're saying in some capacity, at least to him or to it, I want to stay here because it's all right. And I know people going to get into self-worth and self-awareness. I don't know all these people. Like, I don't know what someone else thinks of themselves. I don't know what someone else thinks of a situation. But I do know we're all raised to a point where we're like, if somebody smack your ass and you don't get them shot, let me stop. You don't call big bro daddy,
They're gonna keep smacking you.
they're going to keep smacking you. I mean, is that not understood code, universal law? If someone is offering you something you don't want and you say no and you stay, they're going to offer you something else that you going to want to get you back to what you don't want. Like, that's how that game goes. I don't know. That's
The
game.
whole world.
Yeah, cold world.
Whole world.
Oh, these daughters I
Cold
got.
world.
My daughters, man, look.
Yeah, you got two of them. I mean, you got three, but two little ones.
Yeah, one of them a predator, though. She crazy. She's crazy. Olivia about that life.
Olivia gangster.
Olivia, a gang member. I'm like,
Well, you better watch. You're gonna have to watch her the most then.
oh,
Because the dude who she sees as her equal is gonna be the one who's gonna be able to do the whispering.
That's a fact.
that she sees as her equal?
Because whoever she get, it's gonna go one or two ways. Either he's gonna be a super simp, which she probably won't like, because she's
Yeah,
the one
yeah.
guy
Like
she's gonna
that.
walk around, or it's gonna be a guy who's very dominant.
Yes.
and he's going to use that dominance.
And he gonna
in his
try and
favor.
out
Yep.
testosterone her or something like, I got you, I'm the man. Yeah, okay, yeah. I got sick right now because every time I call, I say, Livy, what? I'm like, God, she's 5.
All these kids say what now? It's like that used to be such.
Like,
You could never.
I'm like, are you kidding me? That's one relationship you got slapped and you had to stay in. What? Say to me, boy. Oh, let me stop. Oh, man.
Uncle Gloria's hand, huh?
Oh yeah, Harry. Smooth. Harry.
Look just like his.
Smooth. Harry. Hey, talking to you. Speaking of that, Uncle Gloria. We're talking about Simone Biles under fire for her trans athlete stance.
Two good transitions.
Yeah, and her beef with Riley Gaines, we all know, the famous swimmer, and flip-flopping. So Simone Biles recently just came out talking about trans men and women, the whole athlete stuff. We all know, we've heard it before. The thing is, she had a tweet years ago that came back, resurfaced, that said, thank God we ain't got to go against these guys who won't get any medals. I'm summing it up. So she's been on both sides of the issue, condemning and supporting the same issue. You could say evolution. You could say she's graduated. She had different thoughts. But you also say she's a hypocrite. And she's contradicting herself. This whole trans conversation, is it tough for you? Is it simple to you? Where do you stand?
I believe in trans rights and treating everybody fairly and treating everybody with respect and respecting their humanity. Mm-hmm. At the same time, I don't think that men who are transitioning to women should be able to compete against women in sports.
Yeah.
We just had a thing at the California high school track finals 2 weeks ago.
Uh-huh.
And they let the trans kid participate, but they put him in a little bit of a different category. So the number 2 girl became number 1 for women.
Oh, there you go.
Right. So that way they're not.
But she ran the race.
Was a jumper.
Okay, jump.
Which is really a power sport.
I mean, goodness.
Power and speed. That's what jumping is.
What was it, long jump or high jump?
I think it was both.
Destroyed.
And so they made it different categories. I mean, there's no possible way, as fast as my daughter is and was, she was going to beat a boy.
Yeah.
Even if the boy's transitioning to a girl, because it's still biologically a boy.
Yeah.
And it would be no contest.
Yeah.
Period. And so I don't believe in letting that competition stay and say that it's equal and say that it's fair. But at the same time, I don't think parents should be wearing shirts condemning a 17-year-old kid and calling them names and making that person not feel like a human being. I think that's wrong, and adults should know better.
Absolutely.
So I think it's still a kid, so having a compromise like they put in place, I think was very helpful.
And even now, I love how you said it, because even if it wasn't a kid, adult, this is the thing about it to me. Like, what is it about people that when they disagree, they have to hate? I think it's this general insecurity of like, there's no way to promote or be pro something without being anti that. And there's a big difference. Like, there's a lot of things I care about. I care about biological girls racing girls because I know running track up to 12, they can mess with me. But after 12, get off the track. I don't care who you are.
Not even close.
Not even close. Move. So, like, I'm protecting you because I'm protecting me. Like, I need to go against the best, and you need to go the best of your gender. That's not a hard conversation. But in saying that, someone who supports me will all of a sudden take it a step further and say, yeah, look at them. And I'm like, no. Look at us. Like, we're going to race. Our protection is a pro. Why is the anti? I would never wear a shirt to condemn a kid, adult, anybody, anything I'm against. Dog, I ride for mine. I count those with me, not against me. So when you got a problem, you got a problem, not anti-you. It's just pro this. What is that about people? Because this issue got there. Because to me, it's simple, isn't it? Like, let the girls compete with the girls, the boys compete with the boys. Trans athletes can have trans athletes competition. But then it turned into a little anti-trans hate, and that's what I don't like.
And there aren't enough trans athletes to have their own division. You know what I mean? There's only one or two at any
that race
at
in lane 1,
right.
him, her. In lane 2, him, her.
They.
They. Oh, they.
You know,
Them.
they, them, right.
And lane one, them. They be like, all right, we're gonna announce all of the runners. And lane one, them. On your mark. Ain't nobody here. Hey, but be real. High school track, it's like that sometimes. You go to them little dual meets.
Oh,
they ain't
yeah.
got nobody in the mile. Like, they ain't got nobody in the mile.
Oh, and if they do, it's taking 15, 20 minutes. It's like this.
They running the
like,
2 mile.
oh,
Ain't nobody.
man.
I've been in a mini track meet. There's only 2 runners, 3 runners for that race, and that's fine. Like, I just don't understand why we making this such an issue. Like you said, there's so few of them, but it's such a hot button. My wife is always talking about it because she wants to protect her girls, and she played college basketball. My wife, good basketball player, she played in college, got a scholarship. Just Blaze right now with his bad knee. Buckets. I mean, if they played 11-0, he'll beat her by 12. Like,
Right.
you know, like it. What are we doing?
Right.
I don't understand it.
It's so obvious. I mean, think about this. I mean, FloJo was the fastest woman ever, right?
That has ever lived on this planet.
And there were questions about whether she was on whatever. The juice.
Whoa. Some Wawa.
Because she's run stuff that people haven't even touched yet.
Nope.
Carmelita came right behind her.
Came close.
But FloJo's best isn't even a decent high school sprinter in the boys.
Nope.
I think the dude who won the 100 ran like a 10.01 this year. Like a flat 10, basically, in California, in high school.
In high school.
And the woman's all-time record is what, 10.8, 10.7, something
No,
like that?
FloJo, 10.49.
No, it wasn't that fast.
Oh, yes, it is.
10.4?
10.49 is FloJo because Usain's 9.58. Yep. Don't mess with me on no track, bro. But
Chat GPT that.
Yeah.
That sounds really low.
What you putting on it right now?
I would say it's either 10.6 or 10.8.
Oh, what we betting? Dinner?
Nope.
Cheap ass.
I don't know what you got
What
over
you
there
betting?
already.
What you betting? What you betting? You're not betting jack.
He got a
or
wagyu.
pickleball. You can't bet nothing.
Wagyu waiting.
Yeah, he does.
World record 100 meter. You ready?
Yeah.
Saw it.
What is it?
10.49.
Yes, I know that.
Ooh.
10.49.
Oh, she was definitely
You
juicing
ducked
there.
that one.
Yeah, 10.49 and 9.58. Now, I mean, to your point, I mean, I want you to almost say it slower. The fastest of one gender for a human civilization is of 10.49. And then you can go right down the street right now, and the homeboy's son who's graduating, like Culver City High, he got to the semis, ran a 10.48, and didn't get to the finals.
Right. Dude ran a 10 flat.
10 flat.
basically, to win the 100 in high school.
In high school, yeah.
And that's better than by almost a half second,
Which is
than the
mile.
fastest woman ever in 100 meters.
Yeah, that's not fair.
So, you know.
And track's the best way to illustrate this because it's objective number. We ain't got to talk about all this other stuff. Well, WNBA versus NBA, and what if Shaq played Lisa Leslie? You know, and we've had these kind of conversations.
Swimming is like that too.
Yeah, swimming.
Male versus female is very because of the strength and the length. Like it's just the diaphragm.
lungs. Yeah.
Like all of that.
Yeah.
Upper body strength.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I mean, to the point where I look at when I'm getting Araya dress versus MJ, and I'm like, damn, MJ, all right, you look a little lean. Then I get her dress. I'm like, damn, you look really yoked. And in my mind, I finish the sentence. For a woman, for a girl. Goodness. I'm like, you know what I mean? It's not, but if that was MJ, I'd be like, oh, okay, I see you, big dog. You know what I mean? But it's her, it's like, whoa, what's this gonna be, right? Literally looking like, I'm like, damn, that's gonna be a lot for a girl. So it's just weird that we're in a place where we can't even talk honestly about this, and then because we're being dishonest, we're hating, or like agendas are piling up and pouring over, and people are getting hurt over this. And records will be broken if they continue. Scholarships will be lost. Opportunities will be lost because I don't see any sport where that's a level playing field.
No, it's not. And Simone's, you know, she can change her mind on something. I don't have any problem with that.
Yeah.
But look at it from a big perspective. You know what I mean? She's not. She wasn't competing against men. Right. You know.
The Chinese with a little.
At least the Russians would have, because they would have been men and doped up. So they were all doping. They aren't even allowed in a lot of competitions anymore.
Really?
If you can go under different names, but you can't be under the Russian Federation.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're doing, because they just constantly cheated in track and field and in gymnastics, and you know, they threw it all out there. It was almost like a cartel sending all the stuff to the border, so some of it gets through.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know you're gonna get caught on a couple. Yeah. Those are expendable. You may even tell on them, but your stars are gonna get through.
Yeah,
and that's what they would do. So imagine that.
Right. Damn. So where you taking me to dinner? That bullshit. Let me stop. I'm gonna end on this topic on this story. There is somebody super famous, woman, athlete, sitting at a table, great person, great friend. We sitting there. We at this event. They're getting honored, and we're talking, just like you know how we talking, and I'm like, we were talking about transgender something, like what's going on, and she was like, it's crazy, unfair, not right, whatever. I was like, yeah, and she was like, you're really outspoken on it. And I was like, it comes off that way, but I'm like, if you ask me a question, I got to answer. It doesn't have to always be right, but I'm not outspoken. I just also got 2 daughters, and I don't want my son to destroy, or anybody's son destroy, what their opportunities are. Deep. They give her the award. She goes up there, does all her little pleasantries, says her little speech. She felt unfulfilled or something in that moment, and then she decides to take a little turn and starts talking about transgender. But she said the complete opposite of what she was just chopping up down here. And I wasn't by myself, so other people heard it too. And then you felt the knees hitting like, and then came back like nothing happened. And I mean, like, you know, when that happens, he's just like, these poor kids. Like, these are their leaders. Right. These are their heroes. And like, you know, who ain't got the text from somebody and you're like, yeah, I'm with you, dog. I'm with you. And then they go up there and he's like, I ain't with you, dog. I ain't with you. And that's happening way more clickbait, as you say.
Anybody call her out on it?
No, not public. No one knows. The people at this table know, but none of us gonna expose. I get no win.
Enough.
Huh?
You didn't care enough to expose her, to like
and
call her out on it.
And I don't mean publicly. I'm saying at the
yeah, I know what you meant.
Like,
directly. I would have said something. I would have said.
I did not. I was just like mental note.
Mental note.
What it is.
Because I got about 10 of those, like really popular people that are like 180 their personality versus who they really are on certain issues. And I just like.
I'm trying to figure out what's the point of her doing that. Like, what is the gain?
Marketing.
Way more money in saying trans rights trans rights /
that's marketing.
Women move over and make safe space for them versus just saying exclusively women is safe space. It's weird. Like, I thought it was gonna go the other way. Like, women's rights means women. They were like, no, anybody.
I'm fighting for your rights.
Yeah.
To compete fairly.
To party.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of a party, who spilled the bottle of beer at the Elon Musk Trump White House party, and how did this go so wrong? And I don't even want to look at Richie because it sounds like a Richie. I told you so. I don't know what happened, but it went south fast. No.
Supposedly, from what I was reading, I don't know how true it is, but this started because, you know, that whole the whole EV law where everything's going to be changed over.
Yeah.
Trump was pulling that, which he said he had always let Elon know out the gate, like he was pulling it. And the moment that he passed that, and now that whole where his business where he thought was going to ascend because he knows everybody's going to come over, now he shut that down. And from that moment on, Elon has just
been on it.
Yeah,
been on him. That's that moment. Yeah, that moment where he like I mean, there's some parallels to this. It's like it's always the it. It ain't you. It ain't them. It's it. And Elon's like, I'm gonna be cool with you, Trump, because you got that EV contract and you rolling my Teslas out in front of the homies and all this at the White House. I'm cool with you. Oh man, we good. And then as soon as they don't do what you like, the unveiling, the guards are down now. And that's what I'm saying. It's like every time I see incidents, I'm like, it's just you really just finally showed who you really are. And all that glad-handing and hobnobbing was just to get some damn contracts through.
Well,
which is fine.
They're both like that, though.
Yeah, I'm not saying Trump's better.
Right.
I'm just saying in this one.
I mean, what's the old thing?
He used Elon for the same thing, for his money.
Yeah,
he
exactly.
used Elon for his influence for X. Yeah. He used him to get that free social media push that he got for the election.
Put tens of millions of dollars into his election.
Highest donor. But then don't get mad then.
A scorpion is going to be a scorpion.
Yeah.
And a scorpion is going to sting you. And a scorpion lives to sting to survive.
Yeah.
And they're both scorpions.
Are they Scorpios? Are you saying
Scorpions?
Oh,
Yeah, we saw this coming.
Yeah,
Like
it was bound to happen.
Trump don't like sharing the spotlight. Elon don't like sharing the power. So at some point, some shit was gonna pop off.
Yep.
And it took something like that to rear
And
its
everything Musk has is built off of government subsidies.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Tesla, he was lying about stuff to the Department of Energy to get money for Tesla. And now SpaceX is all money that our government is giving to them to do this development stuff. So there was always headed down to the short part of the funnel, and only one of them can get through that funnel. Yeah, and he had given Musk all this power to go in and cut jobs, and this and this and all this bullshit. Of course, as soon as people start feeling like he's bigger than Trump's gonna fire back and hit you and say, "I'm the scorpion here. You ain't the scorpion. You the frog. I'm riding on your back.
I don't care how much
across
money
the
you
water." Right?
Ain't that
Don't
crazy?
care.
Money ain't it. Like all of it. It's a lot, but it ain't all of it because the power play right here was what it really
it's
was.
The power play.
Power supersedes money.
Yeah, it really does. Because you can see somebody who doesn't have a lot, but they got a lot.
They get access to a lot more.
Yeah,
just
everybody's
off of who they are.
Yeah, they salute them. You ever see that dude that be in the club and you be like, dog, he ain't never bought a bottle, but he run this club. Like everybody checking in with him.
Giving him one.
They're giving it to him. Yep. I've seen that guy so often. And in this, I'm not gonna lie, am I naive or am I just dumb? I didn't think they were gonna beef out.
I didn't either.
Okay, good. Okay. So,
I didn't see this. I know.
I didn't see this
saw
coming.
it coming. I didn't see it. I thought they were like kindred spirits here. Like they both use each other for exactly what they need to get out of each other. And I thought they was gonna be able to just ride that wave.
Yeah, you know how people always say family is don't do business with family. I always thought the flip because I could tell my family exactly without even caring how you gonna take this. Your family, right? So I thought that they were gonna be family. Like, dog, I'm all right. Tomorrow I'm gonna say this shit, but I don't really mean it. But I'm gonna hook you up with that contract. All right, let's just. I thought they were just gonna be dirty secrets together, and that power was too much.
Egos couldn't take it. You know what I mean? Like you got to sit there. Both of them need them egos stroked, and at some point somebody's gonna stop stroking. And I think that's all right. That's it, guys. I'm out of here.
To be fair, though, I don't think this one was on Trump. I think this one is more on Elon.
Yeah,
I think
it
Trump
feels that way.
He's doing exactly what he said he was going to do, and Elon was trying to use him to get certain things. And the moment it didn't go his way, now he's turning on him instead of just all right, this one thing then go your way. Just keep it pushing. Maybe you'll get something else that goes your way down the line.
I agree with that.
He caught a tantrum like a little spoiled kid because that's what he is, and now he's showing his true colors. When instead he could have just rolled that relationship and make it work for you in another way.
Well, maybe there was an agreement that Trump wouldn't do certain things.
True, but
that
sometimes
he's doing.
those things change.
And right,
Sometimes
but you
agreements
can't change all that money that Elon put in. You can't change that he may have possibly somehow rigged the election. I mean, there's some.
Come on. What do you mean rigged election? You mean influence people to vote?
Well,
What do you mean? What's rigged?
You don't know.
No, I
don't
want to
know.
know what you know to even say that.
All I know is Musk's son was in the Oval Office sitting with his father, and he was quoting stuff that he heard grown-ups say, and one of them insinuated that
That little 4-year-old?
that the fix was in, and he said something that an adult would say, not that a 4-year-old would even fix their mouth or mind to say. And it
You ain't met Olivia?
And it
You might be onto something, but yesterday I dropped my 3-year-old off to his class, right, at the school. And he walked up, and in the car, my kid, they were playing with the seatbelt, and he swung the seatbelt and hit my daughter in the face, right? So I look back, I'm like, don't swing that seatbelt again. We walk up to the class, pass him off to the teacher. She was like, what's wrong? He was like, my daddy hit me.
Yes.
I'm like, I didn't even touch this kid. But I say that to say, you basing
I know.
this off of what a 4-year-old
I
said.
know. Come on,
and
Richie.
sometimes 4-year-olds just say anything.
No, but it
sometimes
wasn't
they
it wasn't a generality like that. It was a
I
specific.
mean, that was very
That
specific.
was very specific.
He said,
my
my dad
daddy hit me.
No, I mean this kid said it like
Penny with the iron.
You know what I'm talking
I know
about.
I don't know the quote verbatim, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
It was a quote like he
like
heard his dad and somebody else saying, "We are doing this, and they're not even gonna know to look for it." It was a
very-
real
yeah, that is
nefarious.
specific.
It was very specific
found the
and
quote,
and
Come on,
very
son.
nefarious.
Come on, son. Come on, son. Come on, son.
How about it?
You forgot about that.
So-
GPT this.
Yeah,
So
I'm
what
not trusting
So what
no
I'm saying is
4-year-old.
that is
including mine.
you know, we don't know what their agreements were as to what would stay in place and what wasn't going to stay in place. So when he pulled the universal chargers or the EV credits or whatever it was he pulled, maybe that was something that they had talked about implicitly and that they agreed, okay, you're going to get this $100 million I'm going to put into your thing. You're going to get XYZ else for my support. And we're going to keep this in place.
If that's what happened, I would side with Elon on that. Like, I gave you $15-20 million for your election because in me doing that, you're telling me you're going to give me this
Exactly.
100 over here.
And you
then
know
you
he's
back out?
he's transactional, so of
Yeah.
course
And then you
there
back
was
out
horse
on me,
trading going on.
I'd be pissed.
I think it was even way more than 15. What,
Oh
like
no,
70?
it was way more than that. It was,
I'm just,
It was like
Oh, yeah,
it was like
yeah.
$1 million a day or something, or a week. It was something crazy.
He did.
Yeah.
I remember that. Oh,
and then he was
man.
giving incentives to people that voted for him.
Exactly.
And they
he
were
was
trying-
out handing out $1 million, or he was handing out money
people that voted for him.
in Wisconsin. He went out handing out money on the street,
Mm-hmm.
basically buying votes for him.
You got a problem with that? I'm asking. Like, for real.
That's smart business.
I mean, that's not how elections are supposed to go.
Hey, that's
No.
a choice. You don't have to take that
You,
money.
see, once again, what's the thing? It ain't him. It ain't you. It's it.
Oh.
And that's the seduction. The seduction is I want money, so now you can buy what I have. That's why we gotta train our kids to stop blaming people. We're blaming the person who offered the money. I guarantee. Look at Terry right there. He's blaming Elon for offering the money, but really is the money. The money is the one. It's the love of the money is the root of all evil. The love, not the money. The love, like people will give up how much they love themselves to love the money. When I first heard he was buying votes, I was like, "Oh, we don't lost our way. What the hell? What the hell?" And then I had to say, "Hold on, could he buy my vote? Hell nah. Like no, he couldn't. Like one, he ain't gonna know my vote. So I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna here. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm voting for Harris. Yeah, give me the money. You know, I'm voting for Trump.
For a couple mil, he couldn't have bought your vote.
You mean that actually I vote exactly like I told him? He would never know. He can't see my vote.
Well, I'm saying if he was like, hey, I need you to vote for
Kamala?
but I
Kamala?
name your price.
Oh, he really like I get money and I vote for Harris?
Yeah,
I'm in California. It don't matter anyway. Let me stop.
I'm saying if he
vote
walked
and-
up to you like, hey, name your price. I need you to vote for. I meant
I
Trump.
need
said
your
Kamala.
one
I
vote.
meant to
Yeah.
say,
Trump.
I need your
Free
I need your vote.
99. I mean, you ain't got to pay me $1 to buy
But if they
old
wanted you-
Donald. But
They
He's
wanted
like
you to
your
vote for
vote and your
Kamala.
platform.
10 million. Vote for Kamala.
Your vote and your platform.
I could be bought.
Right. That's what you just said. You said
But,
you couldn't.
but no, I could be bought for Trump. I could be bought for Harris. Let me stop. I don't know. Oh, no. Could you be bought? Yeah.
My vote?
Now I'm starting to think I could.
For my vote? Yeah, my vote.
Yeah, the vote on you got to give me something bigger than that. Like
Because
my
I don't
vote.
feel like it impact my presidential vote doesn't impact me directly like that more than what my local voting does. Because that is right here.
Yeah, local's more important,
Yeah.
especially in
local's way
California.
more
Like
important,
you can't swing the
Yeah.
shit
Right.
in LA.
It ain't even that. Like for me, it ain't even that deep. I'm like, damn, they gonna miss my vote. I'm like, how many
gonna miss it.
hundreds of millions?
Yeah, it's a lot more. Dude, I'll take the check.
I take the check. And we going to take the out right now, the exit ramp. Let's get out of that. Episode 34, Walter Payton's. Rest in peace, sweetness. Love for you guys for checking us out. All right, y'all. Peace.
Right. I'm glad he said that. No one chooses football. Football chooses you. It's so crazy people still stuck in Patrick Mahomes in the offense. I'm like, do you see these numbers? Marcellus Wiley on the rocks.